Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Yeah No No Yeah. We are doing another director-centered episode. It was Liam's choice for this topic, and he chose the director Hayao Miyazaki. We discuss every single movie that he has made up until this point before his new movie that's going to come out, The Boy and the Heron. So, tons of great discussions. Great episode. I hope you guys enjoy it. As always, look out for the timestamps in the description of the episode if you want to jump to a certain point, avoid spoilers and all of that. And don't forget that we do have a Patreon, so if you want to support the podcast, we would greatly appreciate it. All of the donations go towards the episode artwork that we do. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the episode, and let's get into it. Everybody, we got a sleepy boy on our hands, unfortunately, but it's okay.
I'll wake up, I'm sure.
We'll wake up. Anything new? I'll start off with Keelan, because I'm assuming no.
No.
Right?
At this point,
Just been managing the cinema that I work at, basically. That's been fun. Well, we can ask, we have film bookers above us, and if we think a movie will do well with us, we can ask for it, because we only have 4 screens, so it's just like, we kind of have limited space to put stuff in. So we might not be getting Saw X, and I am furious about that. So as soon as I saw it, I was just like, no, I gotta send a fucking email. So I just emailed them, and then they replied just being like, hi Keelan, thanks for your feedback. We'll review this on Monday. So just gotta wait till fucking Tuesday to find out, because I won't be in again until Tuesday. I'm anxious. We're definitely getting the creator though, and we got the Expendables 4 this past weekend, which has been doing horribly. It's been doing fucking terrible.
No.
How have you been, Quinn? How's life for you?
Life has been pretty good. I mean, it was really good for the last 2 weeks. Kath was here. I mentioned that in the last episode. And yeah, we just hung out, watched a lot of movies, cooked a lot of good food. We celebrated my birthday. It was a really chill visit. Didn't go anywhere crazy or do anything crazy, but yeah, it was really nice. Went by too fast, like all vacations do. Back to the old grind now though, back to the 2 jobs. I'm just focusing on making money, and yeah, so
at least you had some good time. That's nice.
Yeah, it was a good time for sure.
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
And there has been I don't know who I've mentioned this to. Maybe I've mentioned it to at least Liam. I don't know, but I guess since me and her have already told our families, then I can tell everybody. But initially the plan was gonna be that I try and go through the process of moving to Canada where she lives, and it's just been way too complicated. There's things that are preventing, Canada is so much more strict in who they allow into their country, so that process is just gonna take way too long right now, to where instead of waiting all of this time, then Kath is making the decision to fill out the visa to come and live here for the time being. Yeah, so
that's awesome.
It is. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a long process, Liam. So yeah. It's gonna take a while. It's probably gonna take at least a year for sure for anything to go through. I'm meeting with a lawyer this upcoming week. So hopefully we can get things going. But yeah, that's been a pretty big thing.
That's great. Fuck yeah. Who has a beverage? A cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers.
I will cheers to it too.
That's great. I'm happy for you both.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. Well, and you, I don't know if you want to announce your thing.
Oh, yeah.
But you've got a big update.
Yeah, our visa got approved, which is great.
Hell yeah.
I told, you guys know already, but yeah, it's been approved. There's still, so many things to do, obviously, getting all my shit over there, getting Joy over there, trying to figure out some sort of wedding at some point. It's a headache, but, I mean, it's going to be good once I actually get there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a long journey. I'm going to have to go through it, too, or Kath will have to go through it. So, yeah, we'll see how your guys' things go, and then that'll be what happens to us. So you're like
We're paving the
we're
way.
watching right now. Yeah, you're paving the way.
Yeah.
She was really upset that she didn't decide to do this sooner, because then like
I told
we
her
would all
to.
be in the U.S. sooner.
I told her to.
Oh, who, Kath?
Yeah, like me and Julia, we were
Oh.
telling her, like, you know, get in early, like, make sure you actually do it early, because,
Yeah.
you know, it's going to take a while. Like, we had to wait pretty much like a full year.
It's gonna be a lot of waiting, but I mean, I'm just glad she finally made the decision, because originally, like I said, yeah, it was gonna be me moving to Canada, and that it just would not have happened as quickly. So yeah, which I think that's still the plan, like years and years down the road. I know that eventually we were thinking about, like, we'll live here for a while for sure in the US, but like when years down the road, if she wants to still go back to Canada and we're allowed to, or I don't know how to describe this, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Just keep up with visits over the next year as well. Like, make sure you visit each other enough. 'Cause,
we're definitely gonna try.
Also, in about 11 hours, I'll be flying away to Tokyo. So that's pretty
Damn,
cool.
I forgot it was. Oh, yeah, it is tomorrow.
Yeah,
Damn.
I haven't packed yet, but I will.
You're just gonna be like all the people in the movies.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
All the people in the movies we're gonna talk about. It's gonna
Oh,
be
yeah,
you.
right. Yeah, that's all me. Yeah. But yeah, I'm very excited to go. It's the only thing is, like, it's fucking 4 flights to get there, which is like such a headache.
Well, hell yeah. I'm very happy for both of you. That's awesome news from both of you.
Thanks.
I'm happy for you
Thanks.
for potentially maybe at some point getting Sorex in your cinema.
Yeah, we're happy
Yeah.
for you too. Somebody's gotta manage that theater.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
No one else is gonna do it.
I guess now is as good a time as any to announce that me and Jigsaw got engaged. It was
Was that a mutual decision?
Yeah.
No, it's mostly on my part, but you know, it's happening.
All right, but yeah, thanking patrons, Kath at Kath Fernway. Oh, fuck this new username. Check out our Instagram posts and we list her account if I'm butchering that. But thank you, Kath,
Thanks,
for
Kath.
being a Patreon as always.
Thank you, Julia. Moving _ pictures. Way
Thanks,
too many
Julia.
fucking
Thanks,
underscores. Get rid of
Julia.
them.
Thank you, Sarah's Popcorn Chat. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks. And thank you, Ardor Film. I just had
Holy
to look
shit.
it up.
Holy shit.
Would you look at that?
Thanks, Amy.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Amy.
Yeah, no,
I'm-
yeah,
I'm-
first.
I'm improving.
And thanks to my mother. Thank you, Luna ___ Pearl. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you, Liam.
Thank you. All right, well, let me see. I will quick read the poll results of our one of our last episodes. So this is for the Cut That Was Perfect episode where we talked about American Movie and Ed Wood.
This wasn't a poll though, was it?
Oh shit, it's not a poll. You're right. We did get one response
Oh.
from my question. I asked what filmmaker inspires you, and the Kev, who I think is all right, so reviews on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
He replied Lene Ramsey.
Did you mean Lynn Ramsey?
Oh, he must have meant Lynn, but he spelt it wrong.
Oh. Yeah,
it's okay.
Lynn
Kev.
Ramsey's good. I need to see more.
Yeah, she's good. I forget about her, but yeah, she's good. Yeah, we go to what we've been watching. Yeah, which one of the things I wanted to talk about, I actually re-listened to an album. And
Oh, that just reminded me. I re-listened to something and I wanted to talk about it as well, so that's good. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Go on.
Yeah. So I don't know what made me want to re-listen to it, but it's been a little over 2 years since its release. But I re-listened to Donda in its entirety.
Oh.
And because I think neither of us really were like a huge fan of it.
No.
Just because I thought it was way too big, way too long, and just like I don't know if my expectations were too high, but man, I re-listened to it and I really enjoyed it a lot more this time. I don't know why. A lot of songs kind of clicked for me. I just think it's one of Kanye's like most, in its lyrics, like one of his most beautiful albums, like when you really listen to some of the lyrics. And so I don't know, I really actually appreciated it a lot more this time, and it jumped up a full star for me, which was crazy, but I really, really like it now.
I can appreciate like a lot of the songs on there, definitely, but like it is just the part twos that really rub me the wrong way. Like I just do not think they need to be there.
Yeah, I don't listen to the deluxe. I listen to the
No, but they're even on the
original
base
without
album, aren't
twos.
they?
Oh, I thought they were only on the deluxe, but I mean, I could be wrong.
He did a lot of fucking with it right after it came out.
And like all the song, he like removed all the explicit words for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
So like, so
a
there's no. It's because it's like, yeah, it's kind of like a Christian album, to be honest. So I guess I understand it for this, but it's like, why put him in there in the first place just to take him right out? So
Yeah, they have like at the end of the base album, it's like Jail, OK, Junior, and Jesus Lord, all the part twos.
Part 2. Yeah, you're right, and I don't even know that. I still cannot decipher the difference between those.
There's
and
fuck
the
all
originals.
difference, honestly. Like
There's like no difference. Yeah,
I don't know why he did that.
but I mean, other than those part 2s, then like, yeah, I really, really liked it. So
Well, that's good.
yeah, just thought I'd mention that.
I still love God Breathe. I'll stand by that song.
That's a great song. I think the 2 songs that stood out for me this time, Praise God gets me hyped. That song just gets me fucking hyped for some reason. And I don't know, there's a lot of other ones, but yeah.
I love Believe What I Say. That shit slaps.
Off the Grid, by the way, I have to name. I mean, Off the Grid was my favorite from the get-go, but that song, I put it on my running playlist, and I am fucking like lightning when I'm running to Off the Grid.
I feel like I need to.
love that
I feel
song.
like I need to force myself to listen to that song more because I just don't
What?
get it. Like I don't get the hype.
It's just such a hype song. I don't know.
I'll try. I'll try it again. If you want, I can just read my re-listen and get it out of the way.
Sure.
I don't think either of you have heard this, so maybe it's not as interesting, probably. Does anyone know the band Tesseract?
I do.
No.
You made me listen to them. A couple of years ago, I think I just asked you for an album and you're like, listen to this.
Which one do you know?
I believe it was one.
Well, I re-listened to Polaris by Tesseract, and like Tesseract have always been a band that I've like liked, but they've never really like spoken to me that much. They're just kind of like, you know, this is good kind of prog metal rock type shit, and like it's good and all, but like none of it really spoke to me like personally or anything like that. But Polaris is just like kind of a fucking masterpiece, honestly. Like while I was listening to it, I'm just like, I fucking love the lyrics. Like the sound is so unique, I think, and like it's just one of the best like prog rock albums I've heard in a while. So I'm glad I went back and re-listened to it because it's a fucking great album.
That shit's always lovely.
Nice.
So a couple of weeks back, I watched a classic that I had never seen before, and it was far overdue. I watched The Graduate by Mike Nichols.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that shit kind of fucking blew my mind, and it's one of the best films I've discovered in recent memory. I didn't expect to love it that much. It did so much for me. Like, the story is fairly simple enough, you know. The main character, played by Dustin Hoffman, gets seduced by, you know, an older friend of the family, and it just goes from there. But it's so fucking funny. Like, it's genuinely hilarious, and it's shot so beautifully. Like, I was watching it, and I was just like, this is shot so fucking well. Like, there's so much shit that they do with, like, the shadows and the framing, and some of the fucking, you know, usage of like the foreground and the background and all that. I'm just describing cinematography, but it's amazing. There's like a lot of really standout shots, and the performances are all fucking excellent. Like, Dustin Hoffman is fantastic, Anne Bancroft is great. The woman who fucking plays the daughter of Anne Bancroft's
she's
character,
great
she's
too.
Amazing. Like, there's a scene in like a bedroom between her and Dustin Hoffman, and that's like one of my favorite scenes in the movie. It's amazing. It's worth its classic status, and I'm very glad I've finally seen it. It's a clear influence on like a lot of, you know, films we've all come to love. A 10 out of 10. An absolute 10 out of 10. No hesitation. Only flaw is they play like 3 Simon and Garfunkel songs, and they fucking...
I was about to say.
I love Simon and Garfunkel. I
lot.
went through a huge Simon and Garfunkel phase when I was in my teens, but they play the same 3 songs at least 3 times each, and it gets kind of old. But other than that, it's perfect.
It is an amazing movie because like I've seen it twice, and my first time I actually wasn't sure how I felt on it. Like I gave it like a 7 out of 10, and even I thought that was pretty high. But then I rewatched it and it just kind of clicked. Like it was like a 9 out of 10 for me. I hope you like it, Liam, but I know how you feel about Dustin Hoffman. And this, for the reasons you don't maybe like Dustin Hoffman, this might have like, I'm afraid this would have those same reasons. But because this character is very awkward and very kind of like wooden at times, but I feel like it fits the character in this case.
If it fits the character and like the story's gripping enough, then that's fine. I think I just got like really kind of annoyed when I watched Marathon Man, because I was just like, man, this movie's like so boring, honestly, and he's so boring to watch. Like,
yeah. I don't know if this is maybe one of the things Keelan was going to mention, because I know he watched it recently. I mean, so maybe I'm taking his too. When Kath was here, then we have like a tradition now, which is we drive to the nearest town that has, the nearest city that has a theater and a Barnes & Noble and a good restaurant. And we do like, we just go to Barnes & Noble for a while, then go to a horror movie, and then go eat. And it's like, that's just like a fun thing we do. And so this time, we went to see, the only horror movie playing in theaters was Talk to Me, which neither of us had seen. It's an interesting movie for a bit, but then it kind of like, I don't know, because like I think my hopes were a bit too high, because like I saw people saying this is the best horror movie of the year. It's A24. It looked like something kind of fresh, and I was all in. And it is interesting for a bit, but then just, I don't know, by the end of it, by the middle and end, it kind of just like falls into all the cliches and tropes, in my opinion, of like modern horror movies. And it started to feel almost more like a Blumhouse movie than an A24 to me. Like, I don't know, I'm probably alone in that. I still gave it like a 6 out of 10. It's watchable, but my hopes were a bit too high, I think.
I wasn't going to talk about it, but I've seen it twice now. I watched it, and then I watched it a couple of days later with a friend, and I did really enjoy it. I really loved it. It's probably one of my favorite movies of the year so far. But I can kind of see where you're coming from. Like there are problems with it, but I think what it achieved for me overall brought the movie up for me. Like I love the fucking last 10 minutes. I think the last 10 minutes are fucking phenomenal. Like especially the ending shot. That fucking freaked me the fuck out, honestly. I thought it was fucking amazing. But I just thought, like, up until a certain point, it was just a fun horror movie. Like, it's not doing anything new. Like, it's an allegory for, like, depression and grief and addiction and all that. But I think what it did with its concept was it was very fun. It was very fun. I liked the montages of them using the hand and all that. And
yeah.
There was some like genuinely fucking freaky visuals. Like there is one with like a no, that's going into spoilers, but there's one in like a hospital room that was like, it was like something out of Society. But it was great. I really enjoyed it. I was very happy it was very restrained. There was like one jump scare throughout the whole movie.
That's true.
It never felt the need to like, you know, throw in a scare. It just let whatever was on screen just linger.
Yeah.
And the other shit I've been doing is like re-listening to some discographies. I've been going through David Bowie again and Aphex Twin, so that's been fun. Because I really don't think I properly appreciated David Bowie before when I was listening to his stuff. Even now, a lot of his earlier albums I'm not like a huge fan of, honestly. I just the sound isn't really my thing. I think you know that like once it gets to like kind of black tie white noise era, that's when I'm like, oh, hello. I hope they grow on me though. And Ziggy was really good. Like that was a big standout, and I can see why it's your favorite album of all time. So
Tied.
Wait, tied with what now?
Yeah, The Woods by Sleater Kinney.
I thought you were gonna say fucking This Is Why.
No, it's not even my favorite Paramore album. Oh, God.
You'd think it was with the amount of fucking times you listen to it. It's like 17 times on Music Board now.
Look, man, it's a fucking good album.
It is a great album. I love This Is Why. Yeah.
But no, David Bowie does go through like a phase in like his glam era where he just kind of starts making like the samey music. Like Pin-Ups, I'm not a huge fan of, really.
Yeah.
It's fine for what it is, but it feels like something that's going to be more fleshed out in Aladdin Sane. because
I feel
think that
kind of
was
the
after.
I feel kind of the same about Diamond Dogs as well. Like, I think
Yeah.
it's fine, but yeah, not much really stands out aside from Rebel Rebel, obviously, and the title track. I really like that.
My favorite album from him will probably always be Young Americans, and no, not just because Fame is on that album. I know how many times I
don't
listened
know.
to Fame. I know House of Jack Bill instilled an unhealthy obsession with that song for me, but
It did use it really well.
it
It's
used
like my
it
favorite-
perfectly, and
it's
they
like my
bring it
favorite part
back.
of that movie.
Oh, yeah, and just the way they bring it back and cut it in with anyway. But no, that album overall I really love.
It's a great album.
And Let's Dance even. I love his album Let's Dance. It's a great album.
The only one that like
little
really
spotty.
stands out to me, like, and I haven't like gone back to it just yet in the re-listen, but Outside I really like.
Outside is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I think
It's
Outside
really
is great, and I think my favorite David Bowie song of all time at this point is I'm Deranged. Like, oh, that song.
We gotta get you into more Lynch, man.
Yeah, I know it's used in what is it again?
Lost Highway.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's used in the credits. Lost Highway. It's so
But
fucking cool.
I will always vividly remember that song because, like, I think I don't know if I told the story on the podcast or anything, but Keelan, you know about that time that I had too much weed and had to call an ambulance? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I forgot about it, but yeah, now that you mention it, I remember.
Yeah, when I was like starting to realize like that this was not a good trip, I'm Deranged was playing, and I was like, "Oh, this is horrifying! Help!" Like, so that
man.
that'll always stick in my head.
That is very Lynchian.
It is very Lynchian, from what I know,
Life is a Lynch movie.
and I've never seen one.
God help you. I'll keep it short and sweet. I watched the new Emma Seligman movie Bottoms, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very fun. Watch it. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
I've
Do
been
it.
seeing a lot of good things about
Do
it.
it.
So.
It's fun. It's very.
It just
goofy.
looks
It's
like
kind-
it would annoy me. I don't know.
It might, but it's extremely goofy and funny, and I liked it. I liked it a lot.
We can move on. I'm sorry. I really wanted a quick mention that last night at our mutual friend here in town, or my mutual friend from Chandra, Tony, he does his like movie nights every now and then, and we watched Exorcist 2 and 3 back to back. Long story short, Exorcist 2 is officially my least favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
And it just is. And Exorcist 3 might be my current favorite horror movie because like I love that fucking movie so much.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, you gotta watch it.
I'll
if you
watch
haven't
them at
seen
some point, definitely.
I'll probably watch
Skip
Exorcist
the
3
second, but
sometime next month.
I'm watching the second out of curiosity. I have to. Like,
it. Ooh, good luck.
I suppose I do have a topic, and it does tie into our discussion. Studio Ghibli were acquired by like a Japanese TV studio.
I did not hear about
it's
this.
now. It only came out today, and now they're going to be getting into producing TV shows. So we might be getting Studio Ghibli anime series soon.
Huh. Well, there you go. That's interesting.
I don't want it, man. I don't want it. I've had enough of shows. Like, there's too many shows.
I will agree with
Way
that.
too many shows.
There's just too many. It's insane.
I bet you they
But
do a
hey,
fucking like spin-off of like Kiki's cat or some shit. Like, oh my god.
Gigi,
I would watch
or
the
Cat
fuck
Gigi,
out of
Gigi.
that's the one.
I would watch that
Dude.
so much.
They gotta get a new voice actor. That ruined it for me. That voice actor for the cat.
The Japanese,
The
or
American
the English?
voice. No, the English. So maybe the Japanese was
Actually-
good, but
Oh no, we'll get to it.
well,
I
yeah,
thought
sure. We'll
so.
get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah, there's too many shows, man. But hey, that's still. Hey, I mean, I'm sure they'll pump out some good shit.
I
They
hope
have
so.
to,
I
you
hope
know.
it's at least quality over quantity.
and I guess I'll just
Oh.
quickly mention one more mini topic that is also related to the episode. Liam recommended Miyazaki's filmography because Miyazaki said he was going to retire, and
Oh
now
come
he's
on!
not.
All right, like
For the
I,
seventh
I cut it.
time.
I cut it out of the episode, so there's no proof of me saying
You
that.
should have left it in. You should have
No.
left it in. But
I
you know,
would
this
sound
is like the
stupid.
seventh time. This is
Well,
like
no,
the
because
seventh
it was
time.
before it was announced, though. So,
Yeah, I guess.
but
This is like the seventh time he said he's retiring. And the head of Studio Ghibli said that basically he was like, yeah, he was going to retire, but, you know, after every movie he makes, he's so fucking tired that he's like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And then he's just showing back up the Ghibli offices with like ideas for their
There's quotes
Ghibli
of him.
theme park.
There's quotes of him like after every movie that he makes where he's just like, I hate this shit. Like this is just so much pain. And like then he just goes and does it again. So like I completely like when I said that, like I knew it was probably not going to happen. Like he was not probably going to retire, but I just thought I'd say it anyway on the off chance. So yeah.
Well, the dude's like in his 80s, like, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
he'll be making animes till he dies.
yeah, fair play to him. Like,
you know,
go ahead. He makes good shit.
Scorsese of anime for real.
I think he would probably get bored with retirement. I just have some really goofy topics, some interesting headlines I thought you guys would get a kick out of. I'm keeping it light for this one. No world-ending shit this time. All right, so in this headline, just a little small story about a couple was livid by a farting dog in their 13-hour flight that they got a $1,400 refund because they were so upset that a dog kept farting throughout the entire flight.
I mean,
Well,
Yeah.
I'd be
they
upset
can
too.
be pretty fucking awful.
That would be terrible, yeah. The couple says that the gas was only half the battle because they also had to contend with the dog loudly snorting, and it was like a bulldog mix,
Oh,
like
God.
some type of bulldog thing.
Ugh.
That'd be terrible because you're just stuck. But I mean, anyway, just a stupid little story.
I feel like dogs on planes are so annoying, honestly. Like, I've never seen one
That would
myself,
be.
but that would like piss me off.
And then another animal-related headline. This one I found pretty disturbing, honestly. But I don't know. So this is the second time this has ever happened in history, apparently. But surgeons have transplanted a pig's heart into a dying man as a last bid to save his life.
That's really cool, actually.
Did it work?
It's cool, but it's kind of like when you think about it, like this guy's living with a pig heart. It's so weird, like you're mixing human and animal like that. Yeah, the guy was a 58-year-old Navy veteran, and he was facing near certain death from heart failure, but other health problems meant he wasn't eligible for a traditional heart transplant, so they gave him a pig's heart instead. And now he's living, I guess.
That's crazy.
He's gonna turn into a pig, like in Spirited Away.
Well, apparently pigs' hearts are like the closest to human hearts of the animal kingdom, so that makes sense.
But I just wonder if a pig heart can take the strain of what like humans do, like on a daily basis, you know? Like pigs usually are just standing there. Like if this guy ever goes on a run, he's probably gonna die or something. I don't know. Speaking of crazy though, check this out. The Tinder is offering a VIP subscription for $500 a month. Tinder. $500. That's insane.
500.
How down bad do you have to be to pay $500 a month and you still can't? If you still can't get a girl after paying $500 a month.
If someone pays that, like you're the problem.
So apparently, the new plan was announced last Friday. It's called Tinder Select, and it was only offered to less than 1% of Tinder users who are among the app's most active, I guess. And it would cost $6,000 a year.
God, I'm so glad I'm not back on, like, still on Tinder.
Dude,
like,
same.
That was just,
Same.
that place is horrible.
It's the worst. Yeah.
It's fucking disgusting how they just commoditize fucking people's loneliness. That's fucking gross.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Companies will prey on
I mean,
anything,
they've
yeah.
always had that, like, Tinder Gold or Plus thing, like, all the time,
Yeah.
but, like, that is, like, a new low.
But this is a new. It is a new low. Yeah. It's. I'll be interested to see if anybody even pays for it. I mean, who the fuck would pay for that? Last quick story. I couldn't not talk about this. Elon Musk's Neuralink brain implant has been approved for human trials. So I don't know if you guys know about this. It's like he's working on like a brain implant. Yet more dystopian shit.
Didn't the chip kill like a load of monkeys?
I have no
I
idea.
think so.
I wouldn't know.
The
I
first
guess.
thing that I thought about when I heard about this was, like, because it's called Neuralink, and before I actually, like, joined this podcast with you, Quinn, me and my friend Mirak and Jackson, we were planning on like doing an Apex podcast and calling it Neuralink, because that's like crypto's like alt. That's what it's called.
Oh.
So we just decided like we were going to do that, and we were like dead set on it for a while, and then I joined this, and I was like, and they weren't getting mics or anything, like they weren't doing anything to get it going. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm just joining Quinn's one and not doing this.
Man.
Wow, this podcast was the second option?
Yeah, I guess. I was like, oh, fine,
Second option's not bad.
I'll join the Yet Another Yet podcast.
And for those listening who don't know what this is, it says trial patients will have a chip surgically placed in the part of the brain that controls the intention to move. The chip installed by a robot will then record and send signals to the brain or to an app, with the initial goal being to grant people the ability to control a computer cursor or keyboard using their thoughts alone. It's like, why? What's the point? Like, is it really that worth it?
I mean,
Like,
sometimes though I feel like I would like something like that where it's like super convenient. Like I could just, push a button on my head or something like that and play a song or something, or call someone. Like that would be cool. But like, I don't know. I feel like
but you
it's
don't
gonna...
know the effects of this thing.
Yeah.
I would be so paranoid.
I'd be
like,
very,
if
very
this thing
paranoid. Very paranoid.
Yeah. It's just, that's some real dystopian stuff. We're just doing
Especially
brain
coming from
implants.
Musk. Like, he's not a stable human. I wouldn't trust anything he fucking puts out.
he's fucking nuts.
Yeah. It's it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, we can get into the main topic, which this was Liam's choice, so I didn't know if he wanted to introduce.
I can do a little thing. Yeah, we're just talking about Hayao Miyazaki. It's kind of like a director episode, but wait, we haven't seen all of the movies. We can still do it like the same way that we did like the Park Chan-wook one and shit. Like just go through them in release order.
I think there's none that any of us hasn't seen. As in, I
Right,
think
by-
at least
yeah,
one of
and
us
by
has
that,
watched every one of them.
Which is kind of cool, yeah. No, but to be fair though, I think all the director episodes we've done, I don't know if there has been a director other than Christopher Nolan who we've all seen.
Nolan was the
each,
only
or
one.
like, yeah. So like, it's fine if we don't watch every single movie by them. I mean, because some directors just have too many movies.
Yeah.
I got close with Miyazaki, but work and shit just fucked me over.
Same. I got really close. I think, how many have you guys seen? I've seen, if we're not
How
counting
many
The
are
Boy and the
there?
Heron.
Yeah, we're not
11.
counting
Well,
that.
counting. If we're not counting that, then there's 11 movies.
Okay.
11, and I've seen 10.
I think you've seen more than me then,
Really?
which is interesting because I proposed this idea.
No, yeah. So, Keelan, you've seen 9. You said?
I think I've seen 8.
Yeah.
Have I seen the least?
Oh, damn.
What?
Look
think
at
so.
that.
No.
I don't think you've seen Lupin, Castle in the Sky, or have you seen Ponyo?
I haven't seen Ponyo. Fuck, man.
The only one
That
I
sucks.
haven't seen.
I didn't have time.
Yeah. The only one I haven't
okay.
seen is his first movie, Lupin. That's the only one I haven't seen. Well, before we get into that, I think we've been doing this, should we just like give quick, brief introduction thoughts? Like, what do you think about Miyazaki?
Yeah, I think he's a great director. I think he has like incredible vision for what he does. I still just cannot get over like how intricate and like beautiful some of the designs that he comes up with are, because they're just so fucking unique. But yeah, I think he's a great director. He has a lot of passion for what he does, like even though it probably kills him half the time. It's really great to see, and I love him. I think he's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much everything that Liam said. I guess me with Miyazaki, like before Liam had proposed the idea to do it, I had only seen My Neighbor Totoro. And so over the past couple of weeks, I've watched 8 Miyazaki movies, and I just
Wow.
wish I had seen them before. Because
I'm glad you're saying
I feel
that.
like,
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, I feel like with a good portion of the ones I watched recently, on a few rewatches, they could be like some of my favorite movies ever. And
That's great.
Wow.
I feel like it would be like that if I rewatch them, because there's so much intricacies to his work. He always gives it his all, and all of his ideas are like fully fleshed out. It's just a case of whether you gel with it or not. That's what's gonna, make or break a movie for you.
I pretty much agree completely. Yeah, I third that. Like, I'm really not a big anime watcher. Like, I almost never go out on my way to watch an anime unless somebody tells me to. So I'm glad, I guess, that, yeah, you recommended this, because I'd only seen maybe a few Miyazaki's before this, like, well, 3 or 4 maybe. But it's similar to what Keelan said. I feel like I have not rewatched any of these 10 movies that I saw. I've only seen each of them once. There's some I really wish I rewatched because I know I would love them more. But I feel like if I ever did, then they would also jump up to being like some of my favorites probably ever. Because I know there's a lot of great stuff there. He's like the king of anime shit from what I've seen.
At least movies, yeah. Definitely.
At least movies for sure. And like he it's like the perfect, as everything a movie should need, like from the characters to the music, and like it looks so beautiful, but it actually has substance to it too. Like there's some deep shit, which you don't see with a lot of animated movies. So like, I don't know, I can see how it would kill him because like the amount of work that has to be put into even just one of these movies has got to be insane. So I just can't even imagine.
All of his movies are kids movies, but I don't think he ever dumbs it down, and I think that's a really special thing to do as someone.
I would agree with that, excluding. I would agree with that, excluding The Wind Rises.
Princess Mononoke is Oh, okay, sorry.
Princess
Mononoke.
Yeah. That too.
The Wind Rises really isn't like a kids movie, I don't think.
Oh,
that one's really like mature.
Yeah,
that's a pretty mature movie.
Which surprised the fuck out of me, by the way. But we'll get into that later.
Who here has seen his first movie, Lupin?
I'm the only person here who has seen Lupin.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of planned on going through his films chronologically, but I abandoned that idea like instantly, I think. But yeah, I watched Lupin anyway because I wanted to see it for a while because I had a friend in college who was obsessed with Lupin, like just the character of Lupin, and he would always go on about like Lupin's sidekick Jigen. And so I've always been like, oh, I'd like to see some of those Lupin movies because there are like there's an anime series that came before it, which Miyazaki also worked on. There's like a ton of Lupin movies, and Lupin III Castle Cagliostro is the second Lupin movie. And I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, I wish both of you have watched it because I think it's just a fun little kind of crime comedy caper thing, and the characters are all strong. The animation is top notch as usual, obviously, and you know, on top of it all, it's just extremely funny. The characters are so likable. I love Lupin as a character. I love Jigen. You know, damsel in distress of the movie, she's also a really well-rounded character. I appreciated that a lot. But there's just a lot of like fantastic set pieces that you know it was just a lot of fun. And yeah, I won't talk too much about it since I'm the only one who's seen it, but yeah, it's a great movie. I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I want to watch it.
I really wish I did too. Next movie though, I think we've all seen. Which, by the way, do we want to read the description of each movie or no?
That might be a good idea.
Fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nausicaä, the Valley of the Wind. After a global war, the seaside kingdom known as the Valley of the Wind remains one of the last strongholds on Earth, untouched by a poisonous jungle and the powerful insects that guard it. Led by the courageous Princess Nausicaä, the people of the valley engage in an epic struggle to restore the bond between humanity and Earth. So pretty epic shit.
I think there's a Letterboxd review that says this, but it does feel like Miyazaki's Dune. It feels like it does draw a lot of inspiration from like the Dune book, because like I don't think the movie's out at that point, but it does feel like a lot of it, you know, was heavily inspired by the book, which is really cool, because I didn't expect to like Nausicaä that much, honestly. I don't know why. I whatever feeling I got from it, I was just kind of like, I'm not sure if I'll like this, but I ended up fucking loving it. I thought it was awesome.
Me and Keelan watched it together, and yeah,
we did.
I liked it quite a bit. It's not like among my absolute favorites or anything, but I think it's like really, really strong, especially in the visuals.
Yeah, no, the visuals were awesome. Like, and what stood out the most about this though was like the world building.
Yeah,
like the world they were able to build. Like, it's just nuts.
It was really interesting.
Yeah, so that's something that he's great with all of his like high concept movies, I guess. Like, he really knows how to flesh out the world that the characters live in, and this is like the best case of that from his movies that I've seen. So that was like the strongest aspect for me, for sure.
Yeah, Nausicaä feels like a really just lived in world. Like, you buy like every element of it, like, you know, whether it's like the poison swamp or whatever, or like the woodlands or the desert and all that. it all feels like it has a purpose in its society, let's say. I mean, I guess, you know, it's also kind of an element that would go on to be explored in like Princess Mononoke, where it's like, you know, the humans trying to eliminate a force that they don't like. You know, it's a classic movie plot, really.
I think
But
I think
the way
those
they
two
do
are
it
like the
is-
most similar in his filmography, honestly. Like Nausicaä and Mononoke
Yeah.
are very, very similar.
And I think Nausicaä herself is like a really, really fun character.
Yeah,
It's
she's
just
great.
She's a really great character. I really love Nausicaä.
Mm-hmm.
And the insect thingies, like the huge
The
insect
ohms,
thingies,
I
love
fucking
the
love them.
ohms.
Yeah,
They're so
love
cool.
the
it.
design of them is awesome. Yeah, they look
It's like
great.
huge, like fucking wood lice or something. It's just so fucking
Yeah.
cool. I love those ohms.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're great. And
It
what
is.
was the name of that little thing that she got at the start, like her little pet?
Oh
the little
yeah.
fox squirrel.
Fuck.
I can't remember the name.
Oh,
of
I
it.
remember the name. I remember the
I-
name. I can't.
I think they literally call it like a fox squirrel or something.
No, it had a name.
It had had a little name though, but damn it, can't remember it.
It was cute though.
It was really cute.
Yeah, that thing was adorable. It was just always on her
Yeah.
shoulder.
I love how it like
Like,
just
background.
bites her and makes her bleed at the start, but then it's like, oh yeah, you're fine.
Uh-huh.
You're fine, I guess.
It just chills on her shoulder the entire
It's
movie.
cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like the world building for me, and then just like all the animation, that's what held it up. The story itself, it was interesting, but I just wasn't as fully immersed into like what was going on between these like different groups of people. I was kind of more like amazed. Like I was more amazed by the animation, the soundtrack, and this is something I don't know if it's a me problem, I'm sure, but with a lot of Miyazaki movies, eventually the plot gets to a point to where it either loses me or I just am like I was not focusing on it as well as I could to begin with.
It's definitely not a you problem because I've had that with some as well. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Like
Yeah, and there's
occasionally,
worse cases.
occasionally his like plots or like a lot of the exposition type stuff or like deep explanation about lore, it can lose me over time. Like in the like first half of the movie, I'll usually be into it, but then I'll just be like, man, like it's just kind of getting to a point where it's a bit too dialogue heavy now,
And especially because his movies are so fantastical, it's like it's explaining these things that already I'm trying to wrap my head around, and then you're bringing in more stuff like that, and so it's already just kind of like a lot to take in. And so yeah, it happens a few times with a few of his movies to where the plot really does kind of lose me, and I'm sure on a rewatch this is totally where a rewatch would help. So I hope that I rewatch these at some point.
That's a totally valid thing to say.
So I looked it up. That creature's name was Tito, Teto.
That was it.
Yeah.
Tito.
But I think one thing that really stood out to me about the film was like the design of like the props and stuff like that. I thought it was very fucking cool. Like the looks of the guns, like all
Yeah.
the ships, and like Nausicaä's like glider thing.
Oh, I love
shit
that
was
thing.
So cool.
Oh,
I really like that.
Like I just can't imagine the amount of time like they had to take to draw this stuff. Like I can't fucking.
I'm
imagine.
always just blown away by that shit. Like sometimes you just look at a single frame and it's like, man, like
Yeah.
look at all the detail. Fuck.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Every Miyazaki movie has had a moment where I'm like, just how the fuck do you do this in animation?
Yeah.
Yeah. No wonder it kills him. I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things he throws in there, just they don't have to be there, but they're there and they make like a huge impact, I feel, because like the film kind of feels more alive in that way. Like there's a lot of little details and like his animation, like I'll probably bring more up later, but I think it's a special thing about Ghibli films in particular, just the amount of attention to detail and care that they put into it.
Yeah, and it's not
Yeah.
there for nothing as well. Like, you know, some of these things are probably unnecessary to have there, but it is still like world building and like getting you immersed in that world, and I think that's important for these kind of movies. So
Oh no, I'm talking in terms of like little movements even.
I'm just saying like that. I wasn't saying it in terms of what you were saying.
Oh,
just, yeah.
Even if I don't completely vibe with every element of Miyazaki's movies, I feel like everything serves its purpose.
Yeah. Definitely.
And Nausicaa's a good one.
But yeah,
It is
I
a
really
good
love
one.
Nausicaä.
Yeah.
I wish I had more to say about it because I did really love it, but it's been it's been a couple of weeks since I watched it, and other
Yeah.
things that clogged
And
up my mind. But I loved it in the moment, and I still do from memory. I'd give Nausicaa a 9 out of 10. I really loved it.
Quinn?
Nice. I give it a 7 out of 10. I'm sure it would go up a bit on rewatch, at least to an 8. Yet again, the story, it's a lot. So I need to rewatch it. But overall, good movie for sure. I enjoyed it.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm a bit more leaning towards you, Quinn. Actually, like I really liked it quite a lot, but it's not among my absolute favorites, and it's probably going to fall in the lesser category of his movies right now. But if I rewatch it again and I find something that I love, then it could always go up. But just as of now, probably like a 7. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
even the lesser Miyazaki movies are still good.
Yeah.
I don't know if this guy can make a bad movie. So like
Probably not.
he just All right, well, the next one, Castle in the Sky, which I think I'm the only one who's seen it, as far as I know.
I was going to watch that instead of The Wind Rises, but funnily enough, like I saw you watch The Wind Rises, and I was like, okay, I'll watch that then. And then I was like, he's also watching Castle in the Sky.
I didn't plan on watching this, because if we were going to record earlier in the day, like what we planned on, I wouldn't have been able to watch this. But I was able to squeeze it in today before this recording. So, the quick synopsis. A young boy and a girl with a magic crystal must race against pirates and foreign agents in a search for a legendary floating castle.
That sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, it is. And it is pretty awesome. Yet again, I mean, you could say this about all the Miyazaki movies, but the animation is incredible, the music's incredible, the characters are cute and wholesome, and you get attached to them. It's one of his more funnier movies, actually. Like there were times to where I actually like laughed a bit, and like there's funny moments in each of his movies, but this one in particular for me, for some reason. Just the like once they get to the actual castle in the sky, the animation is just fucking nuts. Like, I mean, once you look at it, it's yet again the amount of like detail he's able to put in just like one shot. The entire like it's insane. It's like a photograph of like a real life thing. So I mean, overall it has everything you pretty much need out of a Miyazaki movie, but it didn't like blow me away. It's just kind of your average Miyazaki, like what you would expect if you had already seen a lot of his movies, I guess.
Okay.
It's it's good. It's not like anything crazy that I'm like that's gonna stick with me for a long time like some of his later movies will, but I'm still feeling like a 7 out of 10 on this one. It's good. If I ever came back to it, I'm sure it would go up yet again, but yeah, it's a good movie. So everyone should see it. All right, moving on to, I think, one of his most popular movies, My Neighbor Totoro.
Have we all seen this?
Yeah, we have, I think, right?
I wasn't sure if Keelan had, my bad.
All right, two sisters move to the country with their father in order to be closer to their hospitalized mother and discover the surrounding trees are inhabited by Totoros, magical spirits of the forest. When the youngest runs away from home, the older sister seeks help from other spirits to find her. So yeah, I think right off the bat you could kind of tell, at least I could tell, like this is where his animation kind of like takes a shift. Like I feel like his first 3 movies kind of had a certain style of animation, and this gets almost even more clean. Am I the only one that noticed that?
I could see that.
I don't know.
I
haven't seen Totoro in years. It was like 16, 17 when I watched it, so I don't remember a whole lot from it. I remember really loving it. It's a really adorable little movie, but the animation was a huge standout.
I think that
And
they kind of have a little less to put in the frame in this one, probably.
That's true.
Because like things like
true.
Nausicaa and I Imagine Castle in the Sky have like so much detail to them, and this one is a little bit lesser because it's like a kind of cute, more contained, wholesome little story.
And I'm glad, that's a good point that you said it's contained, because I think this is how I view like Miyazaki movies. I feel like he either makes his movies like really high concept and just packed full of a lot of stuff going on, or it's just really minimal and there's rarely an in between. And I really gravitate towards the minimal, I feel like, because if I'm already like, if I'm already focused on more of the characters and the animation and less so about the plot. So I kind of like, I really like that type of approach more, honestly, with his movies. And so I just wish that he would kind of like find that middle ground, because it's either big fucking world building epic or like small contained cute drama. Like there's like rarely an in between. I don't know if I'm the only one that sees it that way.
No, I can agree with that.
I can see that.
Yeah. But I mean,
Like,
so I liked this movie for sure because it was like more contained and just, you know, focused on a few characters. And
I think it's a really lovely movie. Like it's, I don't think it's like too simplified or anything like that. Like it still has a lot of like intricacies to, you know, the world building and stuff like that, obviously, and the creature design and shit like that.
Yeah.
I remember like a lot of mature elements in it.
There are, yeah.
Like with like I from memory, like especially with regards like the children's relationship with their parents and all that, and them moving into a new home and kind of getting like acclimated to it and kind of feeling distant from everything else, I suppose.
No, it definitely is like, yeah, a bit more mature, and like, yeah, there is still intricacies, like you said too. Like even his most simplest movies, with the exception of like one that we'll talk about probably, I think they all have like intricacies, and they're not just fucking nothing happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So even I don't know. I just love the laid back feel of it, and just like the cute characters and just the amazing visuals, and like it's a lot of his movies are really a vibe. Like they're really kind of just like a vibe that you can just like, and the fantastical animation, just let it like wash over you, you know. So
I think to me this is like a little bit more of a middle ground kind of movie, at least to me. Like because I don't think it's too far either way, but I guess it depends on how you view it though. So.
I feel like altogether it's like a very agreeable movie. Like I can't really imagine anyone like straight up hating this movie.
Yeah, that'd
Obviously,
be weird.
There probably are people like that.
Yeah,
but
that would be. Man, I fucking hate Totoro's. Those fucking things look so stupid. Like who? I don't know why you would hate this movie.
But yeah, like you were saying, it is a vibe, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a very cute little movie. There's not really even a plot, really, is there?
I mean, it's very loose.
It's very loose, but I mean, you know, they move to this like fantastical area, and then the main plot kicks in when the daughter goes missing, but that doesn't happen for a while in the movie. So a lot of it is just watching the characters just go about their life, you know, introducing the spirits, and then like the urgency kicks in like maybe 2/3 of the way through. So yeah, I mean, it is really a chill movie for the most part, which is fine for this. You know, it's a short movie, very short. It might be his shortest movie for all I know. I don't know, but
I think it is.
It's like 86 minutes. So
yeah,
I wish I rewatched it before this, because it would have just been like a nice simple watch. But yeah, it's been too long for me.
I also love the cat that turns into a bus.
The cat bus.
The way it fucking the cat bus and the way it runs around and its eyes light up like headlights. I was like, how do they think of this shit?
The cat bus is cool. Awesome. That's like a huge, like that's one of those big, like staples of Ghibli, I think. Like one that they always use as like a big promotional thing. Cat bus.
For sure. And Totoro, and I guess speaking of that, I mean, the Totoro is like at this point like the Ghibli like mascot. I mean, he shows up for like the first, like every time that it opens up Studio Ghibli, you see the Totoro. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it encapsulates. I think that's because it encapsulates like everything a Ghibli movie should like be and do. You know.
That's true. Yeah.
That's probably why. But yeah, it's just a great fucking movie. If we're wrapping that one up, I guess I'd give it like an 8 out of 10, which it's really close to a 9. The more we talk about it, it's close to a 9, but I'm still feeling an 8 out of 10 on it.
I have it at an 8 as well. Yeah.
Ooh, I also have it at an 8 out of 10.
Damn.
Ooh,
nice.
It's probably the only time we'll all agree on one of these, I bet.
Nah,
I bet it will be.
Nah.
I don't know. There's some that I don't love as much as you guys, and I wish I did. So we'll get into those. But moving on to Kiki's delivery service. Here is
Sorry.
Damn.
I'm not a
is the
fan.
plot.
Go on.
Well, from your rating, I thought you were, but we'll get into that. A young witch on her mandatory year of independent life finds fitting into a new community difficult while she supports herself by running on an air courier service. So yeah, that's the plot.
I logged this from 2017, so it's been 6 years basically. So
damn.
But like having thought about it more over time, like it's so simple, like too simple. And it just doesn't really do much for me at all. Like I don't latch on to any of the characters. I find the cat annoying as fuck, kind of. Even though it's a black cat. Yes. I love black cats, obviously.
No, I also agree. I found it annoying too, which is what probably lowered it by like half a star for me. It was just the cat alone, because it is a big part of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it still has like a lot of great qualities that Miyazaki movies have, though, and that's still like at least a cute character, like and a really distinguished like look, and like all of the technicalities, I guess. But yeah, when it comes to the plot, it is the most kind of do nothing plot. You're really just watching this girl just kind of like go about. It's like a coming of age movie. It's like Miyazaki's coming of age movie, I guess. It's like this girl trying, like, kind of coming into independent life. So I don't know.
It just doesn't really explore on those themes enough for me, because I don't know, it just feels so simple and dumbed down for a while. And I guess it's just kind of like a little hangout, do nothing vibe movie, and that's fine. There's a place for those.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys. It was amazing.
I mean, hey, me and Liam are in the minority, and I know that too. Like, if I look at the ratings on Letterboxd, I mean, everyone loves it. So
yeah,
I expected to be in the boat with you guys, honestly.
It's just fallen apart for me over time. I just like, I don't know.
But the thing is, I watched it the other. Was it the other night? It was the other night. But yeah, I watched it, and it was so fucking lovely. And I don't think it's dumbed down. Honestly, I don't think it's dumbed down. Like, you know, the whole plot is like Quinn said, she's going off in her mandatory year of independence, and she has to discover who she is, basically. And I think it's especially for kids and stuff, who I think this is probably, apart from maybe Ponyo and Totoro, his probably most kid-friendly movie, because it is very sweet, it's very cute, it is pretty simple, but I think it is a good message for kids, like, not to kind of put yourself in a box and kind of go on a path that, like, you know, path that you want to go down.
That's probably just it then, you know, we're adults now, we're all miserable and jaded and had enough, and, you know, kids will probably find something in this, I would imagine. But
and call me a fucking 10-year-old, because I found a lot to love in it.
Then call me a fucking 10-year-old. What a line.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
Did you both watch the dub?
I did, yeah. I think I watched the dub for all of them.
I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's why you found the cat annoying, because the cat...
Yeah.
There was a point where I switched to the dub out of curiosity, and the dub for the cat was atrocious.
Yes, it was very bad.
It was.
At least we can agree on that. Yeah. If I ever go back to it, I probably will check out the Japanese.
Yeah, I definitely will if I go back.
Yeah.
No chance I'm listening to that shit again.
Yeah.
In the Japanese dub, it's like a chill little girl's voice, and I don't know why they changed it to like a guy in the English dub.
It's like a nasally guy's voice. Like, it's weird.
It just doesn't suit it. It feels weird.
This might be a bit of a stretch, but I think it might have been because of the popularity of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Oh, because that would have been big around the time it came out.
That's a good.
So maybe they just kind of changed it to be like whatever the fucking cat's name was in Sabrina. But
I can't remember.
Yeah, in the Japanese dub, I thought the cat voice was cute. It was really cute, and I love the cat. I love the cat so much.
I might give it a rewatch in Japanese if I. Yeah.
There's the whole sequence with Kiki's first delivery, and like everything's going wrong, and she has to fucking use the cat as like bait for. She puts the cat in the cage, and then has to live with like the family for like a day. I thought that was so fucking funny.
That is funny. That was one of the more memorable parts of the movie for me. Yeah.
And like just how rigid he was, it's so cute. I loved it.
Yeah, but there's definitely cute moments to be found for sure. But
I also just thought Kiki herself is probably one of my favorite Ghibli protagonists. I really I think she was a more grounded kid character than they've had in most of their movies, because there is an element of like curiosity and all that, but she's kind of grounded as well because she also has to fend for herself at like 13 years old, which is you know pretty unique. But like she finds, you know, the bakery, and they offer her a place, and it's all going swimmingly. But then the relationship between her and the kid is also really fun, because like she's always like pushing him away at like every chance she gets. And I that stuff was it was cute, and the kid kind of looked like Anthony Fantano, so that was funny.
The kid that was like obsessed with her, kind of. I guess with hair, he looked like him. But I was imagining a bald kid, and I was like, is there a bald kid in Kiki's?
Just get a red flannel, whatever.
Yeah. No, but I know what you mean with like, I think Kiki, like, say what I will about it not having enough plot for me. I think the character of Kiki definitely is like one of the most, you could say she's one of the most like iconic anime protagonists. Like she has that like really like just that quality about her. I don't know what it is. It's like that distinguished like iconic look. Like, you know, when I see a picture, like you see her with like the red bow and the broom and shit, and like, you know, that character, like she's more memorable, I guess, than some of the other child characters. Like the child characters in Castle in the Sky, they were like the least interesting part of the movie for me. So he's definitely had some uninteresting characters, and so she at least stands out. Yeah. But
could we go into spoilers briefly?
Sure.
Spoilers for Kiki's delivery service.
Look, this was my Letterboxd review, but I was very amused by the fact that the last act of the movie was basically Spider-Man 2. I got a huge kick out of that, because she loses her powers, and because she gets so anxious to the point where she loses her powers and she has to try to regain them. So it's Spider-Man 2 for weebs. I stand by that. And I think the way it's dealt with. The way it's dealt with is really like endearing. Like there's that girl in the forest that's living on her own, the artist, that you know, keeps the doll for her when it falls into the forest. I thought that character was really strong as well, and I liked their bond as well. And it's kind of like a parallel to what's happening to Kiki, because like Kiki's living on her own in a town she doesn't know, and this older girl has kind of adjusted to life on her own in the forest. And I thought, you know, that contrast was really sweet, and I liked how they got along. It was fun. Really enjoyed that element of it.
No, I'm totally open to rewatching it. Like, to be honest, I would love to rewatch all of these movies, because even though right now I don't know if I could say Miyazaki is like one of my favorite directors, I could see him becoming one of my favorites, just because all the potential here that of like my second viewing, I know it could bring a lot more. So I'm definitely open to rewatching this.
Yeah, I definitely am too.
Until then, as of now, I'm feeling a 6 out of 10. It's not a bad movie. It's okay. It's watchable, but it's just like not enough there for me. Even though I like the minimal movies he does, there's still not enough there for me. So
I mean, my rating was back in 2017, and I'm like, I think I was a bit more generous back then, but like right now I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10. It's definitely my least favorite Ghibli movie from what I've seen, but yeah, well, Miyazaki movie. But even Ghibli, like from what I've seen, it's still my least favorite.
For me, I initially gave it an 8, but I upped it to a 9 because I just couldn't stop thinking about how lovely the experience was and how much I appreciated about it. Yeah, I really love Kiki. It really grew on me. It's a really charming film.
All right, moving on to Porco Rosso.
Yeah.
Came out in 1992. You're introduced to an Italian World War I fighter ace, now living as a freelance bounty hunter chasing air pirates in the Adriatic Sea. He has been given a curse that has changed his head to that of a pig. Once called Marco Pagote, he is now known into the world as Porco Rosso, Italian for red pig.
I just got to come right out the gate and say we need to cancel Porco Rosso. I did not appreciate the way he spoke to that 16-year-old girl.
Fair.
Remind me, what was he saying again?
There's that part where he's talking to the engineer and he's like, "Oh, that's my granddaughter. Don't talk to her." And then he was like, "I can't promise anything. I'm a pig."
Hey, he is a pig. Right off the bat, I love the quotes in this movie. This probably has like my favorite quotes of any of the Miyazaki Ghibli movies. Like,
it does have one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of the I'd
The
rather be a
fascist one?
pig than a fascist? Yeah,
That
that's like the
so
most.
fucking hard.
It does, yeah. I just love how he constantly brings that up. Like I'm a pig. Like he's just always saying it. It's just funny to me. For me, this was one of those times to where he did nail the like it's minimal, but there's still enough going on. And to me, what carries it all is the character. I love the character of Porco Rosso.
Yeah, he's great.
He is, and I mean because it's all focused around him, and I don't know, I just love the character. I love the vibe of the movie. I don't know, like I said, the dialogue, the quotes, the animation as always. I don't know, this is one of the ones I love. Like I really love this movie.
It is one of the ones I kind of want to rewatch as well, because like at the moment it has like the same score as Kiki's Delivery Service, but I definitely like it more than that. I do want to watch it again, and I might try the English one because I know that you said it was Michael Keaton, right?
Yeah, that's the one I've seen. It's pretty good. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I watched every one of these movies in Japanese except Porco Rosso. I watched it in English.
Well, I watched it in
because
Japanese when I watched it, so yeah, I haven't heard the Michael Keaton one.
Me and my friends have an ongoing meme of the Michael Keaton cinematic universe, and I had to, watch the English dub in solidarity with that, and I regret it. I thought Michael Keaton was awful. He was too stoic.
Really? You
Yeah,
thought
I
he
thought
was
he should.
awful? I thought it fit the character though, because the character's so like, he is kind of stoic in a way.
Stoic isn't the word. I mean stiff. I feel like it felt like his first time voice acting, and it probably was. It felt like he was just an actor that was thrown into a booth and was like, "Here you go. Here's a script. Read it." That's kind
I
of
don't
what
know.
It felt like
to me, if he gave me like a noir vibe, like he was like reading, like it was like sort of a really smoky, like fucking subdued, edgy, like moody character. Like that's the vibe it gave me. So that's why I didn't mind that type of voice acting.
You know what's one thing I really appreciate about this movie, and a lot of Ghibli movies actually? I like that it doesn't feel the need to explain everything. Like they don't explain why he's a pig. There's like one line where like they're looking at a photo of him from like World War I or whatever, and the girl's like, "Oh, I'm so sad you scribbled out your face. You were so handsome." And Porco Rosso's like, "Oh, I just want to forget about it." And then they move on. They never mention it again.
I love that too. I love that because like that's the
He's a
thing
pig,
is that a
beautiful.
lot of his movies. Yeah, a lot of his movies can get bogged down in the really mystical, like explaining the mystical backstory of everything, or like just like steeping you in all this like lore. But I like the fact that this kind of like left things up to interpretation, left it up to the unknown.
I feel like if it
knows,
was,
who cares?
if it was too lore heavy, I feel like it would have ruined the movie. This one in particular,
Totally.
yeah, because
Definitely
I do like the simplicity of it and how just kind of
Yeah.
chill it can be at times. Like I love all the scenes in that like bar, like restaurant thing that they are always frequenting, the one that's like
Yeah.
on the river. I love all those scenes because it's just so like comfortable, and like the sound design is so nice. It's great, and yeah.
Definitely.
I like the simplicity of it as well, but I think this is like one of few Ghibli movies that the story didn't really grab me, even though it is very simple.
I can say the same.
But
The story didn't grab me much either.
And that's
I enjoyed
fair.
the characters. Like I love Porco Rosso as a character. He's
Yeah.
a fun character. Whatever her name was, the mechanic, the 16-year-old mechanic,
Yeah,
who
she was cool.
everyone's lusting after apparently. But
Yeah.
but
Um,
yeah, but like the last half an hour kind of lost me a bit.
mm,
I wasn't a huge fan of the last half an hour. It was just kind of like, yeah, okay, we're kind of going through the motions at this point. It feels like it's padded out to become a feature-length film.
Kinda. I mean, yeah, I like the story enough, but where it does shine is the main character. Like I could just watch this fucking character do anything. I don't know why he's so interesting for me to watch. I don't know. I mean, it's just the design of him, the attitude of him.
He's a pig in a plane. What more do you need?
He's a pig in a plane. That's
He's
like,
a vibe. He's a big vibe.
He is. He could be one of Ghibli's He's Literally Me characters, probably.
I'll also say that like the animation was stellar, but it felt a little bit of a step down. I don't know what it is. I feel like because I think I watched Spirited Away in the same day, so maybe I was.
Oh
like,
shit! Well, that's like night and day. Yeah.
I think there's
feel
like a lot less
to
to display with Porco Rosso, but
Right.
it's still good.
Yeah.
Like it's good animation.
It's I won't diss it, but I feel like there's like, even in comparison to like some of the ones I've watched recently, it feels like it's trying to be more down to earth, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's not like a lot of flourishments.
Right. I mean, this is definitely one of the most grounded Ghibli films. It's not like some, other than the guy being a pig, other than this guy having a curse that turned his face into a pig, it's one of the more grounded, like you're not seeing, you know, a dragon flying around and then like all these crazy creatures, like, so there's not as much to display, you know. So maybe that's why they didn't put as much of an emphasis on the animation, but I really think they made up for it in just like the characters and the music and all the other stuff that makes these movies good.
I think what I've learned about Miyazaki is he really likes planes.
He does.
Yeah.
He likes planes and castles and
He likes the sky.
fucking
And nature.
in the sky. Yes, and nature, and just, yeah, totally he does.
It does actually pop up in the movie, but Studio Ghibli comes from a plane. Like, he got the name from like a plane.
Oh,
Did he?
well, that makes sense.
There's a game called Ghibli or something, and in Porco Rosso, that like the engineer is showing Porco Rosso like an engine that they're going to install in this plane, and Ghibli is written on it.
Oh.
You see, he was saying it's
didn't
like a
know that.
1929 fighter jet engine that was kind of
that's
malfunctioning or
cute.
whatever, but they just didn't treat it right or whatever. But yeah, it comes from a plane.
But yeah, I guess to wrap up Porco Rosso, I love it. I love the character. I love how simple it is, but there's still enough there to keep me interested. I've only seen it once, but I can't wait to watch it again. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
I'm feeling a solid 7 out of 10, but there's always the chance it goes up on rewatch. Who knows?
Like you were saying earlier, like even a lower Ghibli movie is still better than most movies out there.
Yeah.
This is probably in a lower tier Ghibli for me, but I'd still give it a 7 out of 10, and I'd readily rewatch it any day, honestly. Like, it's pretty short, and it is fun, and it might even go up on a rewatch. You never know.
Moving on to Princess Mononoke. Ashitaka, a prince of the disappearing Emeshi people, is cursed by a demonized boar god and must journey to the west to find a cure. Along the way, he encounters San, a young human woman fighting to protect the forest, and Lady Iboshi, who is trying to destroy it. Ashitaka must find a way to bring balance to this conflict.
I really didn't know like anything about the movie before watching it. I watched it with Julia because she's a huge fan of it. Like, I really do think that this is probably the best I've seen his designs of creatures and like just places outside of Spirited Away, and that's like really saying something because that movie means a hell of a lot to me. But like I've just never seen it like be so fucking detailed and unique, and my god, like, oh, some of the things in this fucking movie, my god.
Yeah, that's a good thing to start off with, is the designs, because that is what I could say is for me the strongest aspect of all of it, is like the crazy but detailed character designs, like shit I wouldn't expect to see. Like, it's so detailed and so like lifelike for an animation movie.
Like,
so
right off the bat, the opening scene, like with the boar being like possessed
yeah.
and shit, like it's fucking horrifying and like so detailed and like it just, I was like, oh okay, fuck, we're going like straight in. God damn.
hell yeah.
I watched this movie while I was quite tired, regrettably, and I did not expect it to be what it was. I did not expect it to be so fucking dense with lore. Like, it is so fucking lore heavy.
It is very lore
There's
heavy.
like, I haven't seen Wind Rises, but of what I've seen, it is probably his most mature movie in terms of like thematic elements and like what you actually have to comprehend to get into it, you know? And also, it is gory as fuck. I did not expect that from a PG movie.
I didn't expect that
Holy
either.
Yeah, it is. It's one of the better, strong suits of it for sure. Is it's gore. That was refreshing.
I saw a dude getting like his arm cut off in the background, like near the beginning, and I was like, oh, interesting how they snuck that in. And then like immediately the main guy fucking shoots a guy's head off with an arrow, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. It's this is one of the only ones that you could really argue, like, is it a kids movie? I don't know if it is meant for kids, but it could be.
There's a couple of interesting things that I found out, like, about the behind the scenes of this movie. First off, after I watched it, I found out that there's actually 2 different translations for it. There's one that sticks to Miyazaki's original script, which is kind of more elaborate and more dense. But the most popular one, the one I know I watched anyway, if they called it like the Forest Spirit in your version, it's the version you watch as well. They had like a script translated by Neil Gaiman, and that's the translation they go by in the dub, I think. And they kind of like simplify things so like children can understand it. Like the Forest Spirit has like some weird Japanese name in like Miyazaki's script, and they just adapted it for like English language.
I should
like the Forest Spirit.
I should say right now that I did watch this in English because Julia very much insisted on it. I really wish I hadn't, kind of. Like, I'm sorry, Julia, but yeah.
I loved the Japanese version of it.
I wanted to watch the Japanese.
I thought the voice acting was fantastic.
Like, I'll definitely rewatch it with the Japanese. Same with Kiki, obviously. But like, the voice acting isn't like bad or anything. There are like very good moments. Like fucking Billy Crudup is the main guy, which is like he does very well. And that that little short dude with like the red nose, you know him?
Yeah.
That's Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah. That's the one that I didn't like about the English dub. I thought I like Billy Bob Thornton, but his voice for me did not fit into this movie.
The only one that really didn't fit for me, funnily enough, was Princess Mononoke, and it was Claire Danes. And I just felt like her lines were so exaggerated, and it felt like she was just trying to go very over the top with it. And I was just like, come on, like you don't have to be that intense about everything.
Yeah.
Even though I watched the Japanese version, the credits were still like the English voice actors, and when I saw Claire Danes pop up as as Sen, I was just like, why? Yeah, that doesn't sound like it would suit very well.
It doesn't, in my opinion. But I mean, Julia loves it; she swears by it. So if she enjoys it, that's great. But I really want to rewatch it with the Japanese because I feel like it would be a little bit better for me. It did take away a bit from it.
Another interesting thing about this movie is how patient it is. I think it takes like a good hour or so to really, really get going.
It's very patient.
Like there's a very gradual build up. Like I don't even think Princess Mononoke comes into it for like an hour.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Her name is like like you see her crazy. By the river like half an hour in, and then they go off trying to go to the Iron Town. Other than that, I don't think she speaks a word for like the first hour, which is like crazy. Like the main character is basically what's his name, Ashitaka.
Yeah.
And you're following him the whole movie, and it's his eyes you're going through, and I suppose it's because he's trying to bring kind of a conflict to a close between the Boars, Princess Mononoke, and the Iron Town. And I think the conflict with them all is very interesting. I think it's of like Nausicaä, like we were talking about earlier, it's this most similar to Nausicaä. I prefer the conflict in Princess Mononoke. It's more fleshed out. There's more to latch onto in it. And I feel like the extended length of it is like a big contributor to that, because like it is
the longest Miyazaki movie from what I can see.
Yeah.
And it's also in the top 5 longest animated movies of all time.
Oh
wow.
I thought it was extremely interesting, and what Liam was saying earlier about like all the designs and stuff, like especially the Forest Spirit, I thought was like an adorable design.
I mean, it was great, and like when it, I mean, I'm not spoiling anything, but like it changes throughout the movie, and like when it does, it's like whoa, like it just looks so cool.
Even those little
fucking things that like they creep me out at first, but then I was like, oh, they're adorable actually.
The more there are, it's just like, oh,
it's the little shaky
heads. Chill.
It's like
weird. And off the bat with like the boar and like the rot or whatever the parasite is that they get, I'd be disappointed if I didn't say this, but it's very obvious that Breath of the Wild took heavy inspiration from this film, and I think it used a lot of its best elements really well. Like there's a lot of parallels you can draw between the two medias or whatever. But I think it's interesting. I thought you had, but yeah, no, it draws a lot from it. Like even the rot, like in Breath of the Wild, Link has like his left hand is kind of rotted, let's say.
Interesting.
And he gets magic powers and stuff. But it is extremely influential. I feel.
Yeah, I bet it influenced a lot.
I feel like it might be his most influential film.
I think it could be. It's a fantasy film, like through and through, like fantasy war, basically.
Not his most fantastical, but definitely
but it's just
Yeah.
like very, very heavy on that, I think, and a lot of the like drama elements don't really come through all that well, I don't think. Like I didn't absolutely love this movie or anything. I think it's like solid 8 out of 10 for me right now. I think it's probably because of the English dub. Like I was just kind of distracted sometimes, but like, yeah, the creature designs are all great and everything, and the story is good, but it's like it didn't completely wrap me up the way I wanted it to.
I can understand that.
I agree too, because this was actually my first Miyazaki movie I ever saw, and I watched it like 3 or 4 years ago, and I haven't watched it since. So the plot itself is I don't remember hardly shit about the plot, which is unfortunate, because otherwise I'd be able to say more. But like, I just remember the character designs, I remember like the look of the movie, but the plot really has faded in my mind. So like, this was the one in particular I really wanted to rewatch before this, but I didn't. But I mean, overall, I just appreciate the more gruesome approach that he took to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, the story warrants it for sure.
I'd like to see him do that more at some point. That'd be cool. Like, I like when he gets a bit more edgy like this, you know?
Who
Don't
knows?
think
Maybe
we
the
can
boy in the
expect
heron
that.
will be fucked up.
I was about to say, I don't know if we can expect it from the boy and the heron, but maybe.
Who knows?
No,
Maybe there's
but-
some carnage in there somewhere.
Also, I want to bring up one more piece of info about behind the scenes of the movie, because I fucking love this. So in the States, Princess Mononoke was distributed by Miramax, and you know, the founders of Miramax are the Weinstein brothers, and one of Miyazaki's stipulations when selling it to Miramax was no cuts whatsoever. It has to stay the same length. And of course, Harvey Weinstein, being like the anti-art fucking shitbag that he is, fucking he was like, we need to cut this down like by a good half an hour just to simplify it for kids over here and shit. And so what happened was Miyazaki had a katana jammed into his office desk with the words inscribed on it, no cuts.
What? No way. What?
What a fucking guy.
That's nuts.
All right, I've just gotten
That's
so
awesome.
much
The
more
most-
respect for Miyazaki. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
It's
That's
the most
fucking
fucking
awesome.
baller shit I've ever heard, and for
That
Harvey
is.
Weinstein as well, hell yeah.
I'd be
That's-
shitting myself
I
if I
love
Harvey.
him.
Fuck yeah. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, Miyazaki's awesome. But yeah, overall, it's really his most lore heavy, in my opinion, which, to be honest, is kind of what bogged it down for me as to why I can't remember so much of the plot, is that there was so much I was trying to absorb.
Yeah.
And I just, a second viewing would really clear things up, and I feel like it could jump to being one of my favorites from him, or favorites in general. I don't know. So like, a second watch would really help. But as of now, I'm also feeling an 8 out of 10. It's great. I didn't love it, but I probably would on rewatch.
I do feel similarly in that I would love to rewatch it, because I feel like becoming more familiar with it and more accustomed to what it is, I feel like it could easily be one of my favorite films of all time. Like, there's so much in it that I loved, but like the state I watched it in, and like some tiny little elements didn't really work that well for me. But I feel like in rewatches I would grow to absolutely adore it. But for now, I'm sticking with 9 out of 10. I really loved it.
Nice.
Well, moving on to Spirited Away.
Yay.
Woo! A young girl, Chihiro.
Chihiro.
Chihiro, sorry. Chihiro.
Get it right, Quinn. Get it right.
I know. Becomes trapped in a strange new world of spirits. When her parents undergo a mysterious transformation, she must call upon the courage she never knew she had to free her family.
One of the best films ever made.
It probably is, yeah.
I'm saying it right now. I agree.
Fuck
Yeah. No, it's probably the best anime film ever made, for sure.
Oh,
I would say.
It kind of just is.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
fuck.
It's beloved for a reason. There's a reason why everyone jerks this movie off. Like, you can see why. It
It's
is
so deserved.
absolutely
It is.
perfect.
Yeah,
It is.
It is.
Like,
It's great.
everything that we've been talking about is like perfect in this movie. I think there's like enough simplicity to it to be enjoyed. There's so much like great detail to the character designs and everything like that. Like, the world building is fucking unreal. The soundtrack is beautiful.
It's just so it's so dreamlike too. Like, the things you see in this movie, you're just like, this is what you would see it's like you're describing like if this was like a dream Miyazaki had through and through, I wouldn't be surprised, because it's so unreal and like his most fantastical movie.
It is very
probably.
dreamlike.
It is. I mean,
Yeah, it is very dreamy.
Yeah, and which, I mean, it works though, and the animation is just fucking. I think it's his most beautiful movie, hands down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally agree. But I want to go back for a second, because we haven't talked about it at all. But the music in every single Miyazaki movie is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's not one fucking Ghibli score that I don't like, and it's all done by Joe Hisashi, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But the Spirited Away score is my favorite, I think. And
Yeah.
I've been listening to the soundtrack a fair bit over the past couple of days, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
So gorgeous, and it is extremely imaginative. It is probably one of the most creative films I've ever seen. And even then, the story is so rich and it's so grounded, and there's like a lot of fucking things you can latch onto in there, and the characters are so well rounded and they're all so lovable.
I love just the journey that Chihiro goes on. Like, I think she's such a strong main character as well.
She's a wonderful main character, and like the main conceit of, like, you know, getting into this dream world and then her parents turning into pigs and stuff, that's kind of fucking frightening shit.
I mean,
Yeah.
She
I
handled that
watched
shit
this.
really well.
Scarred a lot of kids.
I watched this for the first time when I was a kid, and that part, like, yeah, it fucked me up. It fucked me up real good. But like, man, this movie is just so special. It's so special, and I have to just
It's
like
really special.
right away. I'm just gonna gush right away about fucking Yubaba and No Face. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, their characters are just so fucking special, I think. And the design of them, obviously, and the design of like every single character you come across, like, oh my god.
It's like, I mean, it's iconic at this point. Like, so many of the characters and designs in this movie are just like, they're so synonymous with like anime in general. Like No Face's mask. I mean, that, like, when you see that, then I mean, you think that's like, when I think anime, I think of No Face. Like, I think of that character. So I mean, it's just, yeah, it's the pinnacle of fucking anime, honestly. So
No Face has such a like weird arc, and I just love it. Like,
Yeah.
it's so
Like,
unique.
I was not expecting that when I watched this, because like the only things I've ever seen of No Face is like, you know, the shot of them on the train near the end, and I've also seen like loads of people with like tattoos of No Face.
Yeah.
I did not expect him to be such a fucking gross character.
He's so
At first,
interesting.
he
Like,
is.
I mean, can we get into spoilers?
yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
let's do.
Okay.
Spoilers for Spirited Away.
I just love that entire section where he starts like eating just everything,
Everyone.
and like
yeah.
then like, you know, they go on that like train journey eventually, and like throughout like the like journey to get to the train, like he's just constantly throwing up things like over and over again. And it's like, it's so weird and like icky, but it's like great. And then it just turns like so beautiful once you get to that train scene as well.
Even he
absolutely
pukes on Yubaba.
Sorry.
She has like a cold for he pukes on Yubaba, and she has like a cold for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
I think my favorite sequence in the movie was the stink monster sequence.
That was a
thought
great
that was so
sequence.
good.
I love that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
Oh,
expect it
man.
to go on for so long, but I'm so glad it did. And like the
Just the
payoff
build
is
up.
it's so wonderful. I thought they were just gonna watch that little fucker, but no, it just goes so deep with it, and it's fucking fantastic.
This movie goes hard.
Like when they're
It goes hard.
It does. It does. I mean, it commits to like its sequences for sure, and just like
Takes
it
its time.
really knows how to takes its time and builds up to like great payoffs, like for almost every scene.
Yeah, I feel
know?
like every character has like a really great payoff.
I really love Haku.
I
really
love
that
Haku.
character.
Haku's great.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the arc he goes through is interesting as well. Like being forced to spy. No, get the what the fuck was it? The little totem from Yubaba's sister.
Yeah.
And he gets turned into a dragon. That shit was fucking sad. Like him just being like a helpless monster just flying around. That was
Yeah.
like
That
That's
to watch, man.
one part where he just like starts transforming while she's like riding on him, and he just like starts
Oh,
breaking
God.
apart and then turns into Haku.
Oh.
It's like, it's breathtaking. Like,
I was in tears for the last half hour of this
I'm
movie.
in tears every time I watch this movie.
it gets fucking sad towards
Yeah.
the end. It really does.
When fucking Chihiro remembers Haku's name, just like
Ugh.
I was done. I was done, man.
Yeah.
I was done.
One that always
Yeah.
used to make me
That was
cry
so
when I was a
beautiful.
kid watching it was the scene where like Haku is giving Chihiro food and she's just like eating and crying and like
Yeah.
it's just so painful. Like I can't do like watching people eat and cry at the same time. It's like no,
Yeah.
that's horrible.
Yeah, that's true. Because like you hardly see people eat and cry. Because
Yeah.
when I think of that, the character I think of is Mel Gibson in Signs when he's like eating at the dinner table and crying. I just had to bring that up.
The design of everything, like every character,
Yeah.
is so unique.
I can't remember the
Like,
name
every
of the
single
guy right
fucking-
now, but like you know that big guy with
Little
the
frog dude?
huge legs, like
Oh.
all the legs, running the steam.
Oh,
Yeah.
the guy with all the
yes,
arms,
yes.
like running
I love
the
him.
thing. Yeah,
That guy's
Fuck,
so
I can't remember
cool.
his name either. He is awesome.
I love the little frog dude. Like when
Yeah.
Oh, I love
and
him too.
Haku and Chihiro are walking across the bridge for the first time, and Haku's telling her to hold her breath, and then he fucking jump scares them.
Yeah.
I love that too.
That whole like shot of like all the creatures coming off the boat. It's
Yes.
like, oh my god, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Or even when, what's the name of the woman who
Uni-
kind of takes Chihiro on? But the scene where they're trying to find her work, like they're going through like all the elevators
Yeah.
and stuff, and there's this
I know
big
who you're
fucking
talking about, but I
walrus
can't-
looking dude. That walrus dude, like in the elevator.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
That dude is so funny. Or even like there's like little chicken monsters in the background as well. There's so much variety just in the backgrounds, and like they didn't need to do that shit, but the world is so much better for it.
Yeah, it's just one of the best like instances of world building that I've ever seen in a movie.
It really is. I kind of wish I watched it as a kid just to see if I like, because there's so much scarring stuff in this movie. Like Uni Baba, I think that's her name, right? She's fucking terrifying. That
Yubaba.
old lady.
Yubaba?
Oh, Yubaba.
Only Baba is the movie.
Oh, I was thinking of, yeah, not Oni Baba. Yeah, the old lady though, she's like terrifying.
She
and her
is.
giant baby, like her giant baby too. I'm just like
Yeah.
like what the fuck? I don't know.
Even that fucker has an arc. It's so fucking funny.
It's hilarious. Oh my god.
There's that
But no,
like,
it's-
that one bit like right when you first meet Yubaba always used to freak me out because she just like kind of like pulls her finger like that and then Chihiro's like sent through a bunch of doors like this. Creepy as
Yeah.
fuck.
It really is. It's yeah.
I love the baby's arc.
Yeah. The baby's arc is great.
Like the scene in Yubaba's twin sister's house where like she's suggesting that, you know, she turns the baby back to a normal after he's been turned into like a hamster thing and he just refuses. And then they're just up on the table just fucking grabbing food and shit. It's so fun. I
Yeah,
love
No
that stuff.
Face is like still eating, but he's like doing it really slowly. It's like so cute.
Yeah.
Fuck, I love Spirited
I-
Away. My god.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed it took me this long to see it, but I'm so
embarrassed
happy
for
I finally
you. Like
did.
I've been telling you for years.
I know.
I think I only saw it for the first time last year because
Yeah.
we did an episode on it. So if you want to hear even more thoughts, then go listen to Down
Episode
Bad in
12.
a Dark Place.
Yeah.
Is it 12?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Down Bad in a Dark Place. I think it's what it's called.
I'm gonna slap Spirited Away with a fucking 10 out of 10.
Me too,
It is
obviously.
a masterpiece. It
Me
is.
3. It's a 10.
Yeah.
It's a 10.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Told you we'd
10.
agree.
Hell yeah. 10, 10, 10.
Dun, dun, dun.
Next is Howl's Moving Castle.
Fuck yeah.
When Sophie, a shy young woman, is cursed with an old body by a spiteful witch, her only chance of breaking the spell lies with a self-indulgent yet insecure young wizard and his companions in his walking castle. That was a weird wording of that. Yes, castle has legs.
I should just say,
So-
before we get into this, I pretty much exclusively watch Spirited Away in English dub just because I'm used to that from when I was a kid. I think I've watched the Japanese version like once, but it's kind of the same with Howl's Moving Castle. I have watched the Japanese, but I usually prefer the English just because like Christian Bale, like come on.
Yeah.
Like Christian
Yeah.
Bale is really fucking good, like voice acting.
I did swap to the English at one point, and he was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Christian Bale. I mean, I haven't seen this in a little over a year, but Billy Crystal as the fire demon was what stood out
Yeah.
to me. I don't know why. Billy Crystal's voice.
I should have watched the English dub. Holy shit.
He is
Calcifer.
good. He's really good.
Yeah.
I loved Calcifer.
Yeah, I don't know. This is yet another, like, if Spirited Away wasn't his most beautiful movie, I might say this was it. This or Princess Mononoke. Like, these three movies just have fucking perfect animation. They really do.
I think this is the most character-focused Ghibli movie. Because like, there is an external conflict with, like, the war that's going on, but I think, you know, the main conflict is between Howl and Sophie, basically.
Yeah.
It is what it says on the tin. It's a fucking castle that moves. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's just the designs are what hold this movie up for me. Just the design, like the design of the castle, seeing it move, like some of the character designs, like Howl, and when he like kind of transforms into, I won't spoil, but like just the transformations he kind of goes through. Same with the main character too, the girl. It's like for me, it's yet another case of like all of the technical stuff blew me away, but the story itself, I really wish I liked more. I really wish I cared about more, and it sucked me in, but it just like didn't.
I wasn't too big on the story when I first watched it either, but I did, like, I've rewatched it a ton now and I like it a lot more.
And that would probably help me. I'm sure a rewatch would help me, but yeah, it's just, for me, it just feels too stuffed with like stuff that maybe, I don't know, maybe could have been just like smoothed over, like cut down a bit. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like it kind of like loses its focus for me. I don't know why. I feel like it could have been just simplified just a bit, but because like it just gets to a point in the plot yet again to where it just kind of lost me. I don't know.
It does start to like it does start to
Yeah.
like teeter off a little bit toward the end. I'll agree on that. Like,
The ending is quite rushed.
yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit.
I do like the ending, but I felt like everything just kind of happened so suddenly, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
As if, you
it
know,
does.
And another thing that I was actually going to mention during fucking Spirited Away, that I was kind of blown away by Spirited Away, but apparently he does it for like all his fucking movies, is that like he didn't write a script for Spirited Away at all.
We have a listener question that specifically talks in depth about that exact thing you're going to talk about, but we'll definitely talk about it more. But it isn't that a weird approach? It really is a weird approach.
With Spirited Away, it blows me away more because that movie's so rich. and
Yeah,
so
literally,
in-depth,
how
and
do
I
you
love
do that? Like, that's nuts.
That was just lightning in a bottle. Like, that thing's just aligned perfectly, and that will never happen again. Like how do you come up with the storyboard before the script and have all these character arcs like they did? Like, how the fuck, you know? But I don't know.
With Howl's Moving Castle, like it was adapted from a novel, so I guess they did have
something to
a
go
base
off
point
of,
to
like a
something to
story.
go off of.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like with every fucking Ghibli movie, animation superb. This design of the castle, like the way that like pretty much every element is like separated and they're all moving like at different rates. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
That castle is so fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is. No, I mean, the fucking animation, the music, the characters, yet again, it's like everything surrounding the story was the stronger suit, but like if the story gets too bogged down in its lore and like in its maybe not so much it's like in this case, but like just I don't know, man, what it was with Howl's Moving Castle. I think a rewatch would really help me. This movie in particular, I really wanted to love it, and I do love certain things about it, but you'll hate me when we get to our rankings. But yeah, it's a good movie.
I really like it. I think it's a strong story, and like we said, I love the animation and the design of everything. It's all great. Like Keelan said, I can agree that it does kind of like rush the ending a little bit, which is like the only real downside I could say. But even then, like the amount of times I've seen it now, I'm just kind of used to it, and I just love it for what it is, really.
Yeah, I'm feeling a 7 out of 10 on Howl's Moving Castle. It's good. I really wanted to love it more. I know a rewatch would help, as with a lot of these, but yeah, 7 out of 10 is what I'm feeling now.
Like I said, I've seen it so many times, and I'm just kind of grown used to everything that it does, and like I'm comfortable enough just giving it a fat fucking 10, honestly.
Holy shit!
I'll go
Damn, I
for it.
wasn't expecting that. Wow.
It's the
all
one
out.
I watched Spirited Away when I was a kid, and I was just like, I need to see more of these movies, and this was the one that I went to directly after. So I was still like very young when I watched it, and I guess maybe it's a bit of nostalgia bias, but oh well.
Yeah, and I'd give it a 9 out of 10. really, really loved it. Really loved it. I'd love to see it again.
Moving on to Ponyo. So here's yet again where, all right, break out the boxing gloves. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna.
I'll sit out for this one.
I don't.
What's there to fight about?
Because you haven't seen it. Yeah. No, I mean, well, I liked this movie.
I liked your review,
probably
Quinn.
quite a bit. Oh yeah, isn't my review? Once you watch the movie, Liam, the ending is literally that. The ending is like that message. And me and Kath were watching it together, and she literally turned to me and she's like, "It's like the whole would you love me if I was a worm thing." Like, yeah, like, okay, fucking no, I can't spoil it because Liam hasn't seen it. No, I won't spoil it, but I mean, broadly, the theme really does center around loving and accepting something for what it is as opposed to what you want it to be, maybe.
Do you want to read a plot real quick?
Holy crap, this is a long plot. Here we go. This is from Letterboxd.
I'll do the plot.
No, because you're going to say, like, some shit.
He's going to read the plot to Sorax.
Girl is fish. Girl turns into girl. Falls in love with a boy.
Okay.
That's it.
The son of a sailor, 5-year-old Sosuke, lives a quiet life on an oceanside cliff with his mother Lisa. One fateful day, he finds a beautiful goldfish trapped in a bottle on the beach, and upon rescuing her, names her Ponyo. But she is no ordinary goldfish. The daughter of a masterful wizard and a sea goddess, Ponyo uses her father's magic to transform herself into a young girl and quickly falls in love with Sasuke. But the use of such powerful sorcery causes a dangerous imbalance in the world. As the moon steadily draws nearer to Earth, and Ponyo's father sends the ocean's mighty waves to find his daughter. We're getting close.
Fucking hell.
We're getting close. Then the two children embark on an adventure of a lifetime to save the world and fulfill Ponyo's dreams of becoming human. That's what Letterboxd gave me in their description. It's fucking nuts. I know. But no.
I like my description better. Yeah. How the fuck do they think it's a goldfish? How is that a goldfish?
I know. I didn't get that either. It's kind of weird. It's weird because like it has like a human face to begin with, which is kind of strange. But no, maybe it's my bias of like watching this with Kath and having like a good time watching it with her. I don't know. But I enjoyed it quite a bit. I just thought it was like yet again that kind of like it struck that balance between just enough lore and character and like kind of giving me a sense of the world, not being too simple, but being simple enough and not bogging it down and like a bunch of unnecessary extra plot and character stuff, but it had like just enough there. I don't know. I listened to did you listen to the Japanese dub, Keelan, or the English?
I did. I listened to the Japanese dub.
Oh, damn. I listened to the English and I thought this was just a hilarious coincidence, but Liam Neeson voices the dad, the father wizard, and I just thought it was really a interesting coincidence that two movies came out in 2008 starring Liam Neeson searching for his daughter. Like two movies, like it's a double feature, Ponyo and Taken.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I thought the movie looked fucking beautiful. Like some of the images of Ponyo, like when she has her legs, because you know she turns into a girl, then when she's like running on the waves alongside the road to where they're driving their car, just that image alone, I just thought that was like so cool. Like just like walking on water, and just it was like a really intense scene. And I just thought some of the imagery was really cool, but you can counter that or, you know, say whatever.
Probably the worst film I've ever seen.
Oh, come on.
Wait, no.
No, I didn't hate it. I have no real strong opinion on it, really. It was okay, you know.
Yeah.
The animation was fucking awesome. Like obviously Ghibli, it was fantastic. But it was just this. I didn't really care for the characters. I didn't really get engaged with the story.
I always
liked
remember
the first
when it
half
came
an hour.
out, everyone was very lukewarm on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's
That has
definitely
like a 4.0 on Letterboxd.
Yeah, but it's a Ghibli
It's weird,
movie.
I suppose.
Yeah.
They're like little bits I liked, little segments. I liked when Ponyo and the little kid were eating noodles. That was a cute little thing. I don't know, it was a small little scene, but I liked it. And I think Ponyo's very annoying. I don't like Ponyo.
Yeah, Ponyo, I will admit, Ponyo is annoying, and the two negative things I didn't like about it, I didn't love the movie, but I did like it quite a bit. But Ponyo is kind of annoying, and by the end of the movie, it pulls another thing that Miyazaki does that I don't really like, and it introduces a lot of mystical stuff that gets way too bogged down in like explaining things, and just like by the end of it, I kind of liked how simple it was up until then, and I didn't know everything. I just loved all the heartwarming interactions between characters, like the old women at the nursing home. I just thought that they were kind of cute, and their arc by the end of the movie, I can't spoil it, but like what happens with them and what they were able to do was like really kind of like, was really wholesome. So to me it's definitely one of his more wholesome movies, actually. Miyazaki's more wholesome movies.
I think it introduces all the stuff you're talking about too late. I think that was one of my biggest issues with it, because by the time it gets introduced, it's just like, I don't really care at this point. Even though some of the stuff is cool. And as well as that, I'm shocked they included it in the description, but like the thing about the moon moving closer to the Earth, that's like in the last act. Why is that in the description? But that even then, that was brought up a bit too late, even though, you know, the whole movie has kind of an environmental message as a whole. You know, an environmental message and message to accept others for being different and all that, which is good. It's good to teach kids that kind of stuff. But it does feel too kiddie for my tastes. I was enjoying it at certain points to an extent, but overall, I don't care for it. It's fine. I don't hate it, but it's just there.
It is a very kiddie movie, but the characters and the wholesome feeling of it and the messages and all that, it held it up for me enough to give it an 8 out of 10. I did
like the dad though.
I liked it. You did what?
I did like the dad though. He looked a lot like David Bowie.
I'm trying to remember the dad. Yeah, I think I would know. I don't remember.
Ponyo's dad.
Yeah. Oh, Ponyo's dad. I thought you were talking about Sasuke's dad, who you barely see. Oh, no. Like, I guess he did kind of the hair. He was kind of creepy.
Labyrinth. In terms of rating, let's give it a 5 out of 10. Like I said, didn't hate it, didn't like it.
Last movie, that The Wind Rises. A lifelong love of flight inspires Japanese aviation engineer Jiro Horikoshi, whose storied career includes the creation of a A6M World War II fighter plane. That description doesn't do it enough justice.
I am so shocked at that this movie is like a Miyazaki movie, honestly. Like, it's crazy. It's basically like kind of loosely a true story, sort of. Like, it's apparently based off like the actual guy Jiro and like someone else who was like also working with him, and like it's kind of like a combined thing into one character, I believe. That's something that I've never seen one of these movies do, which is like really unique in itself. But like what's done with the movie over the runtime is actually just so special. I fucking loved it. I was so surprised I loved it, because like
I loved it too.
You never hear anyone talk about this movie in terms of like Miyazaki's movies.
I know.
Like nobody mentions it, and I'm like, why? Like, it's fucking great.
Yeah, it is. It's great, and it's like, it's definitely one of it might be his most grounded movie.
It's not fantasy oriented at all, which is like I think why a lot of people don't mention it that much.
Right, and a lot of Miyazaki's fans, maybe, I don't know, maybe they are too stuck in the fantasy way. Like, they want their fantasy from Miyazaki, and this has none of it. It's like a really grounded, it's the only movie by him I could imagine getting a live action adaptation and actually working. Like, all these other movies, I don't want to see live action because they're just not going to work. But this is like the one. I mean, I don't want to see a live action of this either, but
it could work,
it would work. It could work, yeah. And,
but it's basically it's basically just a drama movie at the end of the day, like a drama romance, and it's really special. But like, I think for a while I was kind of like, I don't know if this is really gonna grab me, because it's just kind of like plane talk, like about planes for like quite a while. But then like once it gets to like the romance that happens, it's like that starts to just like make it feel a lot more mature and like interesting. And I was just so wrapped up in the romance. I thought they were just beautiful.
I was really worried that I wouldn't like this because I knew the romance was supposed to be such a big part of it, and
it really wasn't though. It was enough. It was just enough.
Yeah, it was just enough. And like, but I mean, because, you know, with a lot of these movies, they always have to insert some type of love interest or like plot like that, like a romance plot. And I kind of like get tired of it after a certain point. But this, like, it worked so well for the movie.
That's actually one thing I'll say about Princess Mononoke. Like, I'm very glad they didn't force a romance in that one.
Yeah.
Very,
That's
very
true.
glad.
The characters in this were great. Like, it felt so, like, very human and, like, inspiring and, like, just, like, very down-to-earth. Such a down-to-earth movie. And the fucking animation's insane. Like, the animation was so good.
There's a great amount of depth
Gosh.
that's given to the characters, which I really like and didn't expect as well.
Yeah. And just, like, the little moments were what I love the most. Like, did you listen to this in the English or the Japanese?
Japanese.
Oh, I listened to all these in the English, and Werner Herzog voices, he voices the guy with the big nose that plays the piano at that party.
Really?
And he's like kind of that. Yeah, he voices him.
Oh, wow.
And
That would've been
was
great.
so. Yeah, it was so good. And like when that moment where they're just sitting outside and they like light up a cigarette and they're just talking,
Yeah.
it feels so cozy
It's
and it
so
feels
cozy,
so nice.
yeah.
And like and I could just like listen to these characters talk like this whole time, and it was just all those interactions between the characters.
I
it
have
was
to
just
say,
perfect.
I fucking love that like little short guy. That's like he's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
funny because I love like
Oh my-
the like first pretty much interaction that you have with him where he's just like, you know, checking his design or whatever, and he's just like kind of nervous about it, and he's just like, give me this, and he just looks at it and he's like, it's perfect.
I love how intense that little guy was, and he's just like
so intense
pissed
about
off,
everything,
but like
yeah.
he is, and he's so like pissed off and angry, but you can't help but like love him.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know. He was really it was just awesome. But yeah, overall, I mean, I didn't expect to love it either, but I did. I really loved it.
Yeah, me too. I'm so surprised that I loved it as much as I did.
I would give it a 9 out of 10. At first I gave it an 8, and the more and more I thought about it, I'm like, no, this is a 9. It's really great. There's very little negative I have to say about it. So
I'm kind of feeling a 9
Yeah.
as well, honestly. Yeah.
yeah,
It's really, really
fucking
good.
awesome. It's got to be the most probably underrated in his filmography.
Yeah,
I would say,
absolutely.
because you don't see anybody talk about it. Like, you don't see anybody.
Yeah.
So
It was very
Yeah.
good. Very, very good. If you're listening and you
real.
haven't seen it, fucking watch it. Seriously.
yeah, I mean, watch all these movies, but definitely watch this. But yeah, let's get into our rankings. So
10, 9, 8. I've seen 9.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so mad that I'm the one who's seen the least. Fuck's sake.
So, Quinn, you go
so-
first with your 10, then we
Yeah.
do 9, and then we do 8,
Yeah.
and go from there. So we'll
Yeah.
go Quinn, me, Liam.
yeah. So my number 10 is Kiki's Delivery Service. I mean, that's not really a surprise. I wish I liked it more. I'll totally rewatch it, and it'll probably jump up maybe past one of these. But yeah, it's my number 10. It's okay. God, you guys might hate me. I don't know. I'm putting Howl's Moving Castle at 9. I know. I know. It's just it's a good movie.
Keep
though.
a gun
Like,
under your
it's-
pillow tonight.
Yeah, sleep with one eye open,
It's-
buddy.
Yeah, I know. No, but it's a good movie. I really should rewatch it. It just feels a bit too just stuffed with some stuff that bogged it down for me. But
You
other than
said
that,
you said the last time you
still
watched
good.
it was like 4 years ago, right?
No, that was Princess Mononoke.
Oh.
This one I watched last year actually.
Okay.
So but then again, it was a lot to take in, and like maybe I was focused on other stuff at the same time. Who knows? So a rewatch would help.
I think maybe with the
Yeah.
like appreciation that you have now for Miyazaki, it might be a bit better for you this
Oh,
time.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I really think so. Yeah.
My number 9, to no one's surprise, is Ponyo.
Yep.
Fuck that little goldfish bitch.
Damn. All right. Well, now we can all get to our rankings with number 8. I had Castle in the Sky at number 8. It's a good movie, but it's just kind of your average Miyazaki movie. Has everything you'd expect, but it's still wholesome. It's got everything you need, but it's just not going to stick with me like his other movies. I just don't see it sticking with me that much.
My number 8 is Porco Rosso.
Oh,
Good.
Hurts.
He's a pig, and he
Hurts
flies
me.
a plane.
Ah,
It's a good
Oh,
movie. He pig, he fly plane.
he do be
Damn
pig
it.
and he do fly plane.
See, Porco Rosso, he actually got the. It's funny because he got a pig heart. He had a human heart and it turned into a pig heart.
Did you choose
Sad
that
to bring
specifically
back
to tie that into Porco Rosso?
That was just not at first, but then I realized it and I was glad I did. I was like, ooh, that ties in.
Goddamn nice.
I can bring that back up. Yeah. I had an arc for my mini topic.
Well, my number 8 is Kiki's Delivery Service. Yeah,
yeah.
I think that maybe if I rewatched it in Japanese, maybe it'd be a bit better, but we'll see. For now, I'm not a huge fan of it.
And number 7, I have Nausicaä, The Valley of the Wind. Good movie, great world building, awesome designs, but yet again, maybe a rewatch would help. It was just a lot to absorb for the world building for me that I don't know. It was good. Just 7 spot.
Nice.
My number 7 is My Neighbor Totoro, mainly because I haven't seen it in a while, and I haven't. It could easily go up. I remember really enjoying it.
My number 7 is Porco Rosso. Yeah, it's a good one. It's good. I like it. I think I would maybe enjoy it a bit more in a rewatch. We'll see. But yeah.
All right, you guys, you're gonna kill me again. You're gonna hate me again. I knew my ranking would be kind of crazy. Looking at it now, it is. I just want to preface this by saying I really want to rewatch this, and I know for a fact it will jump up at least a spot or two. But at 6, it's a great movie, but I don't remember hardly anything about it because it was my first one, and that's Princess Mononoke at number 6.
You're off the cast.
I'm not mad at anyone's rankings so far. It's fine. Like, I'm glad that we all have some differing opinions. It's good.
My number 6 is Lupin the Third, Castle Cagliostro. Really, really, really fun movie. You guys should watch it.
Yeah.
I think you'd like it. It's cool. Cool little movie.
I'd like to.
My number 6 is My Neighbor Totoro. I really like it quite a bit. I think it's, a solid 8 out of 10. Like I said, it's very cute. It's probably one of the better, hangout kind of just chill ones of his filmography.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the best of those.
Number 5, I have Ponyo. I liked it. It's top 5 Miyazaki, apparently.
Damn.
No, I know I'm being generous with this, probably. It's a good movie, but I know that Princess Mononoke will overtake it when I rewatch it. I'm sure it will. It's probably recency bias and the fact that I watched it with Kath.
Yeah, that can really change a movie experience for you if you watch it with someone.
It really
that,
can.
You're enjoying the company of.
So I know that I might not have enjoyed it quite a bit if I was without her. I'm sure I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. So all of those things affecting it, it's my number 5 as of now.
My number 5 is a much better movie, and it's called Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind.
Asshole.
I loved it. Loved it. I love Nausicaa.
My number 5 is also Nausicaa.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's a good one. It's a very, very good movie.
Yeah.
I love the world building. I love the creature designs. I think it's awesome. I think the last act is really fucking cool too. I didn't even mention that, but the whole kind of battle thing at the end is really cool and beautiful to look at. All the ohms fucking rushing towards the thing. Oh my god.
My number 4, I have My Neighbor Totoro. Great little cozy movie, down to earth. It's a nice little comfort movie for sure.
My number 4 is going to be Howl's Moving Castle.
Nice.
It could maybe go up. I loved it. I really loved it. But for now, my number 4. Still give it a 9 out of 10.
My number 4 is Princess Mononoke. Yeah, I really loved a lot about it. Sorry again, Julia. I really do wish that I watched the Japanese, honestly. The only one that I really enjoyed was Billy Crudup. I thought that he was really good, but yeah, the rest kind of just... But yeah, it's a great movie. The world building is incredible, and it's, I think it warrants its length as well. It has a lot to pack in there, and it does it very effectively, and the pacing is very good. So, yeah.
Number 3, I have The Wind Rises. Fucking awesome movie. Great movie. Yeah, just everybody should check it out because not enough people talk about it, especially within his filmography. So,
Agreed.
Yeah, it's a great top 3 Miyazaki, and probably stay that way. Who knows? I don't know, but for now it is.
When we're 3 is Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oof.
Love it.
Ooh.
Come on.
It's something. top
What
three. I forgot you still had that card up your sleeve. Shit.
What I meant to say was I
Kiki.
respect your opinion.
Yeah. Sorry, I
Yeah,
respect
let
it.
slip for a second there. Oh boy.
I laugh now, but after I rewatch it, I know I'll probably like it more
Yeah,
too.
but top three.
honestly.
Top three. I don't know.
Yeah, it won't be top
Dude,
three
it's a
for
fucking
me.
banger, man.
Oh.
It's a banger.
Fair enough. I'm glad you had fun. My number 3 is The Wind Rises.
Wrong.
Nice.
Kill yourself.
Oi.
Nice.
Stop it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, The Wind Rises was a shock. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it was as good as it was. So yeah, I kind of went in like expecting something very lukewarm and just boring or whatever, and like I was just wrapped up in the story, and I loved the characters. It was beautiful movie.
Number 2, man, it was so hard. It's like these numbered 1 and 2 spots. But you guys are safe because number 2, I have Porco Rosso. Fucking love Porco Rosso. I love it. I love the character. It's so fun and like just a fun vibe.
Is he literally you?
So he could be if I have to rewatch it.
Okay, pedo.
Well, I don't even remember that part of the movie, to be fair, but I remember the girl kisses him on the cheek, but he never did anything.
Yeah, he's just a pig.
He's just a
Also,
pig.
the third act is the villain trying to get her to marry him.
Yeah.
which is
Well, he's
strange.
the villain, so I mean, I get it, but
Yeah, Quinn's not
Everyone's
literally
doing
the
same
villain.
Stuff.
yeah.
Don't call him a pedo.
Anyway, it's not nice.
Can't have
You're
that
not,
around here.
don't
That's
worry,
your
I'm sorry.
that's your first official warning. You get 3, then you're off the cast.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Quinn.
Thanks. Thank you for the apology.
Sorry for calling you a pedophile.
Oh, who knew Porco Rosso would cause such controversy?
Of all things.
Fucking Porco Rosso.
My number 2 is, I was gonna say Porco Rosso. I don't. It's not Porco Rosso. It's Princess Mononoke.
Nice.
Fucking awesome movie. So cool.
Yeah.
Such a cool movie. I loved it.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Howl's Moving Castle. I really love
Wow.
it. And like I said, there's probably a bit of nostalgia bias going on there, but I think it's amazing and very beautiful movie.
Wait, for number 1, can we all say
Should
it in
we-
unison?
Yeah, I was about to say we probably should.
All right.
All right, number
All right.
1 is Spirited
Away.
Away.
Good.
Woo!
We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Did it.
Yeah. It's the best. It really is the best.
Yeah. There's
So
nothing quite
fucking
like
good.
it.
It's
Yeah.
perfect. It is a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's the only movie by him I can call perfect right now. Porco Rosso is perfect for a bit, but I need to rewatch it to call Porco Rosso perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I only have 2
Um,
perfect scores in his filmography. You know, like I said, one of them has like a little bit of bias there probably, but with Spirited Away, it's like, you know, even outside of that bias, I can still rewatch it to this day, and it's still just so effective and beautiful and special.
Yeah, there you go.
Masterpiece.
The Miyazaki talk is not over yet because we got quite a bit of questions we'll have to get through. All right, so getting into listener questions, Miyazaki edition, because they're all Miyazaki questions. Starting off with Film Toppings on Instagram, he sent 2 questions. So his first question is which film is his most rewatchable? I don't know, because I haven't rewatched any of his movies yet. I've only seen them each once, so I don't know. But I can easily probably say Porco Rosso would be the most rewatchable for me. It seems like a really easy viewing.
Yeah, in,
like
in
Spirited
terms of
Away
like
would
easy
take
viewing,
a lot.
easy viewing ones, yeah,
Yeah.
like probably My Neighbour Totoro
'Cause-
for me.
Like even though Spirited Away is like his best by far, I that's an emotionally draining movie, and I can't come back to that too often. So
Not me neither.
Um,
It's hard to watch sometimes.
I'd probably say Kiki.
Fair enough, yeah.
that's fair. I mean,
I feel like that could be the most rewatchable. That or Totoro.
any of his laid back movies for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then his other question was, which film is his saddest? I
Spirited
would
Away.
say Spirited Away. Yeah, definitely.
Spirited Away? No, I
Uh,
wouldn't
What?
say so.
no, but it's just like there's sad moments in there that like really drain me. So it's
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd maybe say Princess Mononoke. None of them are overly like sad or anything.
Yeah, that's the thing is that I think Makoto Shinkai, his movies are way more sad. Like Miyazaki's movies are kind of like uplifting. From All Right So Reviews, he asked, why is Miyazaki the only anime director to consistently break through to mainstream audience?
His films are really accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah, for
accessible for like everyone of all ages.
Yeah, and like I said,
my
there's
first
something for
memory
everyone
of-
in that catalog.
My first memory of any sort of Miyazaki movie was seeing my dad had the Howl's Moving Castle DVD, and it was like a white box, and it was like a special edition kind of thing, and so like it just goes to show like his movies appeals to everyone.
Yeah.
I think there's at least one Miyazaki movie that someone can be like, that everyone can be like, that was like one of the greatest things I've ever seen, and it should be Spirited Away, but you know, people have tastes.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
From Ardor Film, of the ones he's directed, which is your lowest rated and why? Mine's Kiki with a 5 out of 10. Join the club, Ardor.
Yeah.
All of our least favorite Miyazaki movies are 5 out of 10s.
Mine was
cool.
a 6, actually. Mine was a 6,
Oh.
to be fair.
Oh, I
I
thought-
see, like I said, I think
things were 5.
Kiki's okay. I think Kiki's okay, but no, Liam's was a 5,
Yeah.
and Amy's was a 5, and yours was a 5.
Oh.
But mine was close to being a 5. Like, and for now I'm feeling a 6, but it was close.
Yeah. So
Yeah, mine's Ponyo.
Kiki
yeah.
Ponyo.
5 out of 10.
From movies that don't suck, best and worst Miyazaki film. So I guess to quick say again, we all think Spirited Away is the best.
Yep.
And me and Liam think Kiki is the worst. And Keelan, you think Ponyo is...
The worst.
No, yeah, I guess, yeah. All right, final question, and it's a big one from Clary_Wary.
Who?
Claire on Instagram. It's... I know, you have to, like, look at the username. CLARI_WARI. She used to have an actual Filmstagram account. I can't remember her username though, but so she asked, or she said, how do you say his first name again? This is embarrassing.
Heyo.
Okay,
Ohio.
Okay.
Heyo, Ohio.
Ohio. Hayao has a unique process where he does the storyboards first before a script is made. Do you think this process has led to some shortcomings in some of his films? For example, as much as I love Howl's Moving Castle, I gotta admit it's a stuffy movie, and I think it's a result of his unique yet admittedly tumultuous creative process. And I completely agree, because that's the thing. It's such a weird approach to his movies that I feel like it can be really hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there's times to where he comes up with these, like, he probably has these amazing, like, visual set pieces in his mind, but if you can't come up with a good enough script to get from point A to point B to point C and so on, like, then it's just, that's when it starts to feel messy in the plot. And for me, that's when Howl's Moving Castle felt a bit messy in the plot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would agree with Claire in that.
No, absolutely.
It is a weird process, but I hope it works. Like, for, you know, if he's gonna do more films after The Boy and the Heron, like, I hope that he does that well.
We talked about it earlier, but like with Howl's Moving Castle, like that was a novel, so they at least had kind of like a reference point as to what they were doing with the storyboarding, I suppose, because you kind of have to decide what novel you're adapting first. But even then, I think that might be more of a problem with like adapting the novel than anything,
Yeah.
because I think every other Miyazaki movie apart from The Wind Rises is an original concept, original story. It could just be a problem with adapting the book.
Thanks for the great questions as always.
Thanks, guys. We don't usually
but-
thank people for
thank
questions,
you.
but thanks, guys.
Well, before we wrap up, we have to tell people our next topic. So, Keelan, it's your turn.
For the next topic, since it's my recommendation, I asked Liam and Quinn to also pick a horror movie since we're going into October and it's going to be Halloween.
Spooky
Best
season.
season of the
Quinn.
year. Whoop. Yes.
And me and Quinn are big horror fans and we like
Yeah.
Halloween because, you know, we get to watch a lot of horror movies and
love
stuff.
Hell
and
yeah.
The vibes are cool.
Horror's my favorite.
Yeah.
I wish we all loved horror here.
Liam's the
Hey,
biggest
I
horror
love
fan.
some horror. I always want it
Yeah,
to
you
impress
do.
me.
I'm going to ask Liam and Quinn to go first and then I'll reveal my
Oh.
pick.
Yeah, it's Angst.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I would rewatch that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was the
I
first.
want to like it more. Yeah.
Because I really loved it when I watched it, and I want to love it even more. Like it's just so disgusting and fucking vile, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to spoil our thoughts for the next episode, but
No. My pick, I wanted to find one that I wanted to rewatch, even though I apparently had watched this movie in January of this year, so it's in the same year, but I wanted to rewatch it already again, and I loved it, but neither of you have seen it. And that is, it's Pulse from 2001, directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. I think it's on both of your guys' watch list. He's the guy that directed Cure, which I haven't seen, but Pulse is one of the creepiest horror movies I've seen in general. Like, I remember it creeping me the fuck out, and so
I wanted to see that for a while.
Give me a fucking minute. That was my choice.
No
my
way.
God.
Was it really?
Yeah, I've been really wanting to watch it.
Holy
Oh
shit,
my!
nice.
Out of all the horror movies.
I'm shocked that Quinn hasn't seen it, but I'm gonna pick Videodrome by David Cronenberg.
Oh yeah.
Oh, finally
I've been
watched my
wanting
first
to watch
Cronenberg.
it.
Let's go.
It's a good
Yeah,
one
I've
to
been
start
wanting
with.
to watch it.
So, for the next episode, I personally am recommending Angst, Videodrome, and Pulse.
Nice.
Yeah, good picks. Can't wait.
Good episode.
So
as
we're
well. That
not.
was really
So we're
fun.
not doing. Oh yeah, that was a good episode. That was
a
great
nice, chill
fucking
episode.
discussions.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Okay, you can find me at Views by Quinn on everything. Just check out the link tree below. Thank you.
Thanks, and you can find me at Movies Music Me on everything. Find me also at the link tree below.
You can find me at Spirited Away Fan 1987 on everything.
Change his username just for this.
Yeah.
Kidding. You can find me on Only Shallow on pretty much everything. The link tree is in the bio.
Epic.
Hell yeah. Well, that's about it. So, peace out, bitches.
Bye,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye.